Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, and a fine Libations Friday to you and yours. Loosey-goosey edition of the program. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Or to our veterans. Online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Just miss something, don't worry about it. Go back, get caught up. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can email the show if you like. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. You can find me on Twitter @JCameronShow. Use the WTSM app for your mobile devices. And you can watch us perform our duties here doing the program on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. That's where you go. Seahawks get the win last night, 22-16. They lose Richard Sherman for the season. He ruptures his Achilles tendon. I'll tell you what's impressive about that. He got up and kind of limped off. Usually a ruptured Achilles tendon is bad news. Bad news, as you can usually find one writhing in agony. But he's never missed a game in his 7-year NFL career. He is tough. Leads the team all-time with 32 picks. Since he entered the NFL, that's the most interceptions in the league, 2011 to now.
Yeah, and we also know that he can take a punch.
Oh, can he take a punch?
Hey, what you gonna do, boy?
I'm punching your.
Hey, do it then, boy.
Woo! Woo! Oh, my man. Don't invite that. Well, now he'll have surgery. The Seahawks do avoid back-to-back losses, the current longest streak in all the NFL for not having back-to-back losses. They get a win in an ugly game. Tonight, if you're interested in big-time football, you got Stanford hosting Washington. Okay, all right. Looking forward to it. Going to watch it. Going to tune in. More on that game in a little bit. Also, the 2017-2018 college basketball season begins today. 163 Division I men's games, Tom. I wanted to look this up. Only game involving ranked teams. Number 25, Texas A&M taking on 11th ranked West Virginia. 6 o'clock on ESPN.
All right.
You get the Armed Forces Classic in Germany. Top-ranked Duke hosting Elon. Not going to watch it, although I do want to see Marvin Bagley, the third #1 player in the 2017 ESPN 100. He's making his debut. And tonight at 11:30 when you're watching football, if you want to flip around, UCLA and Georgia Tech in that Shanghai game without its 3 freshmen who were arrested, including Lonzo Ball's or what's his name? Ball's son.
LeVar.
One of the Balls, yeah. Anyhow, he was arrested for shoplifting.
You know, that reminds me of when Jimbo was talking about Rex Ryan and them beating Rex Ryan in his coaching career, and he said, we Shanghaied him a little bit. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe probably don't want to explore that? You think it's probably not a good idea? I don't know.
I don't know what it means to Shanghai somebody, but yeah. It was in an on-the-record setting, so I can't imagine that Jimbo would say profanity in general, so yeah, I don't know.
Ezekiel Elliott's 6-game suspension, Tom, is back on after the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has denied his request for an emergency injunction. They said, no, he leads the NFL in rushing yards since week 3. He's responsible for over 50% of the Cowboys' offensive touchdowns and touches this year, second highest percentage in the NFL. You know who's the first?
Kareem Hunt?
Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's, I suppose that's probably right. Hey, I'm looking here, notable injuries this season. I'm looking for these teams, and I'm noticing that now that another star is gone, obviously Richard Sherman, who we just mentioned, but Vontae Davis is missing this season, Dante Hightower, Whitney Marcellus, Eric Berry, J.J. Watt, Haloti Ngata, Cliff Averill, Julian Edelman on the offensive side, Brandon Marshall on the offensive side, Ryan Hill,
Aaron Rodgers,
Joe Thomas, Aaron Rodgers, Greg Olsen, Odell Beckham Jr., David Johnson. Golly, all-star team that's on both sides of the ball here of guys that are gone.
There's no doubt. It's a rough year for injuries in Tampa now. We'll see if Jameis Winston plays another game in the 2017 regular season. Not that it matters. They're playing the Jets this weekend. The Jets are sitting Matt Forte. There you go.
Are they really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's out. I mean, they're not sitting him. He's out. He can't play.
He's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Won't make a difference. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Bilal Powell will go for whatever he does.
Over under 25 plays live that you're watching on Sunday.
I'll watch. I don't know. I maybe not. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll pick a different game. Maybe I'll do myself the right, I won't do the disservice and watch that game.
I think if Red Zone makes its way to Tampa and the Jets, I'll probably watch if
That'll
Red
be the only
Zone
time if
picks it
Red
up.
Zone's
Yeah.
there. In the interim, we have a game to concentrate on. It should be an epic rivalry matchup that we're excited about. Instead, it's just another game on the schedule and one that we don't figure to win. Florida State on the road against Clemson tomorrow afternoon, 3:30. Of course, the last time we were up there, we lost 23-13. Last year in heartbreaking fashion, Florida State fell to Clemson 37-34 in a game we probably should have won. But this one doesn't meet those expectations. Those were games where ranked teams faced one another. This is one ranked team, not two ranked teams facing each other. And as we've done each day of the week leading up to this day, I will give you my confidence level for the day.
The daily confidence level.
1. It is still 1. It has not moved. It has just been a needle that is motionless.
What about the confidence level for scoring over 7 points?
Ooh.
The daily confidence level.
3.
Okay, we're coming around.
Is this out of 5 or 10?
10.
I thought so. Okay, maybe 4. Maybe 4. Over 7 points. Over
The
7.
daily confidence level.
So can you win 10-7? Can you win 10-9? Can you hold Clemson to 3 field goals? Is the race to 10?
Well, what about a defensive touchdown? Now there's 17 points on the board, sir.
What? 17 points. Well, here's the thing. Kelly Bryant isn't Deshaun Watson. Thank goodness, or this could get really ugly. But he is a big, strong kid. I don't know if he's 100% healthy after talking to Walt yesterday. If you missed that interview, we played that yesterday. Walt Deptula covers this Clemson team for the Roar 105.5 up there. It doesn't sound like Clemson people think he's completely healthy just now with that ankle. But anyhow, that said, it would behoove us to defend him as a runner and make him a passer. You know, you got to keep him in the pocket and make him throw the ball down the field. I think that's an area of weakness for them. And you know, obviously, I'm counting on this defense showing up and playing a good game, because if they do, then this game could be fairly interesting into the second half.
You play gap sound football. You got to play gap sound football. You cannot have 2 second-level defenders trying to do the exact same thing. Stop it. That's not going to work. You know what that means? 30 yards down the field. And here we go. Splash play, crowds into it. No, that can't happen but maybe a handful of times in the game. It's going to. Clemson will scheme something open, and they got really good coaches. So we're going to give up big plays, but you can't give up home runs. You got to keep things in front of you. And, you know, even if it is a gain of 4, trade the gain of 4 instead of a gain of 20 by trying to do something outside of your own responsibility. If there's a do-your-job weekend, this is do-your-job weekend. We're talented enough. We'll see if we're passionate enough.
I think the passion will be there. I do think that kids respond when their back is against the wall, against heightened competition, where they recognize the talent level is equal to theirs. I do think they'll show up. I don't know if it's enough. I mean, these kids have had an awful lot, go wrong this year. The goals and the dreams and all that good stuff that we've talked about have been off the table for weeks now. And for Clemson, the opportunity to play in the college football playoff again or move towards it is still intact. They're ranked number 4 currently in the college football playoff poll. There they are behind Notre Dame and Alabama and Georgia. Obviously, if they win this division, they'll play for an ACC title, likely against Miami right about now. And I think they certainly like their chances against Miami. And then from there, you're probably back to where you were just a year ago with an opportunity to compete anyhow to maybe win a national title. Is this team good enough to win a national title? I'll tell you this, I think they are. I don't know that they're the best team in the country, but they're certainly capable of competing with the likes of Alabama, who doesn't really have great play at the quarterback position. They're certainly capable of competing with Georgia, if Georgia's to get there with a true freshman quarterback. I think they're good enough to shut down Notre Dame's run game. So, yeah, man, if you just look at the college football playoff teams that are there right now as the standings are, I think they're every bit as good. If Wisconsin somehow got there, we think they'd kill Wisconsin. Other teams, they'll get a chance to play Miami, Oklahoma, or Washington. Clemson could certainly do that.
Yeah, there's no that team this year.
No, there's not, really.
I think the closest one is probably Notre Dame, because they average over however many 100 yards on the ground, which means no matter the opponent, they should be able to impose their will to a degree.
300 plus something yards on the ground. I don't know that they would line up and be able to do that against Alabama, let's say. They didn't run for a gazillion yards against Georgia. They did run, though.
I think it's getting better, though, that attack is. Wimbush is getting better as the weeks go along. So, they're the team that if you're looking for a neutral site, who can you count on to play at, a certain level? I think Notre Dame is that team right now. Because look at Oklahoma. They would be one if you didn't have to scratch your head for about 3 weeks straight. So what the hell's wrong with Oklahoma?
Yeah, weird team. I had them beating Oklahoma State last week. I hate to see all those points and yards and all that good stuff, but they did win the game that they needed to win. And they're an interesting team, certainly from week to week. And they got a big game against TCU this week, and it is Park Your Ass Saturday. So we do get a lot of big games. That Georgia-Auburn game is going to be huge, too. A popular pick right now, and Lee Sterling will join us in the 4 o'clock hour, is to take Auburn on the Plains. And one of the reasons for that is that, again, you're talking about a true freshman quarterback going into a tough environment against a very good defense. And a lot of times you think, well, eventually that has to catch up with them. It hasn't up to this point. Can they run the football effectively or enough to allow for him to throw off a play action and continue to win with your tough defense attacking style that they play? Maybe, yeah, sure, it wouldn't be surprising, but it also wouldn't be surprising to see Auburn do enough to confuse the freshman and maybe turn the game on a turnover. That's a fun game. Probably my favorite game of the weekend besides Notre Dame Miami.
That game features two teams that it doesn't mean as much for one as it does the other. The question is, can Georgia match intensity on the road, even though the game isn't life or death like it is for Auburn? Quick question on Florida State. Over under 150 rushing yards tomorrow.
I'm going to go under.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go under. I don't think – well, listen, Clemson doesn't have to respect Florida State in the passing game right now because we can't pick people apart with our inability to block it up. I don't think our offensive line is blocking that defensive line. And so they're going to know that Florida State's going to try to obviously shorten the game, limit possessions, protect their quarterback, run the football, be physical, play field position. And I think that kind of sets the stage for Clemson's defensive line to dominate and stop the run game when they know it's coming. Jimbo's a good play caller. Jimbo typically calls a good game against Clemson. He has the entire time he's been here. If you go back all the way to him being an OC to where we are now, he's always called good games against Clemson, just as he has typically against Miami. And that's something that we've always used as a feather in his cap when describing the things we like about Jimbo. These big games against good teams on the road, he calls a good game. So I'm expecting that that's not going to be the problem. But he has real limitations right now as to what he can do based on injuries and based on youth.
Yeah, he had a 3-year run for the ages against Clemson. If you date back to 2011 with Clint Trickett on the road, we actually tried to come out in the Wildcat. That failed, and we quickly went to Clint Trickett, chucking it down the field, and we had great success there.
Have you ever seen a team run the Wildcat less effectively than we did in that game?
Well, stay tuned for tomorrow. Let's see how Cam Akers does if he runs a couple of plays out of the
Well, we had Chris Thompson running it against Clemson, and he had no chance, and it was really like – You just put this in this week, didn't you, Coach? You have no idea how to use the Wildcat. I think that's true. Like, I think they put it in like 2 days before the game. It looked ridiculous.
But then in 12, obviously, that was the game where Clemson comes out storming with the kitchen sink being thrown at Florida State, and we outscore them. That's how we beat them. And then obviously 13 is one for the ages in general because it's one of the great wins for a top 10 team to announce its presence to the world. And that was a season to remember.
Well, we're just hanging our hat on it every day these days. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on earth, can give you the best year-end deal on earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in Southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Incredible discounts on racetrack-worthy vehicles, like $10,000 off select new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade. And that's not all. We've got a huge used car inventory, so you can find a quality pre-owned vehicle to fit any budget. We even offer low payments and exceptional offers, like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJr.BuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
It's the sale of the fall. You don't want to miss it. And you'll be saving in style with one golden ticket. Goodies is having our one big sale. This Friday through Sunday, you can get 50% off almost everything in store with your golden ticket coupon. That's including most of our newest styles and your favorite brands this season. Don't have your golden ticket yet? Just go to Today's Deals online or download our app. Get ready, this special one big sale starts Friday. Goodies. What will new bring out in you? Goodies is part of our Stage family. Offer exclusions apply.
Okay, the thing about Macy's Veterans Day sale, perfect timing.
Like getting an extra 10 to 20% off with our Macy's card or savings pass?
Exactly, or incredible specials on things we really need now.
Coats and sweaters from my favorite brands.
Cardigans, shoes, and boots for me.
Kitchen electrics.
Diamond rings, an extra 40% off.
Is that a hint?
I'm just saying, perfect timing.
You just set me up, didn't you?
Macy's Veterans Day sale, savings off sale prices, exclusions apply, including specials.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, we scored 3 offensive touchdowns of longer than 50 yards last week against Syracuse in our 27-24 victory. 51-yard pass from Blackman to Nooney Murray. And, of course, Cam Akers had a 54 and 63-yard rush. That makes the first time since 1976, not a banner year. A span of 510 games, FSU registered 3 50-plus yard touchdowns on offense in the same game. That's the first time we've done that since 1976.
Dubious that it's related to 1976.
76, indeed, yeah. That is. That's. I didn't know that. I was reading that, catching up on my notes today, and reading through what Florida State offered up from Sports Information, and I always like to look at this rivalry in terms of all-time and historics and those kinds of things, and I saw that number. I went, yeah, I knew about the big plays, but you would have thought Florida State, as powerful as this program has been, 3-time national champion since post-1976, obviously. You go back to 93 and 99 and 2013, there have been some prolific offensive football games in which Florida State scored 70 or 80 points in a game. And, you know, you've seen any number of times where you thought, well, that's certainly in the record book, only to find out it wasn't. And that's surprising that a game 27-24 with 3 plays over 50 yards for touchdowns, that it hasn't happened since 1976? Really?
Yeah, that's crazy because to me, the first game that comes to mind, remember the first game back for Chris Thompson after he broke his back?
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 house calls, I thought, from distance.
Yeah.
So that means we didn't do it a third time.
Didn't do it a third time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I really digesting that. I was during the break sitting here kind of going, really? I mean, when we were practically we were the originators of the greatest show on turf. I mean, the Kentucky Wildcat and the whole deal. Remember that? We used to the Kentucky Derby, I should say, offense where we used to, roll out there.
We're not cheating with one and done.
No. Maybe we need to. But, yeah, it was start of basketball today. All right. Leonard Hamilton's crew not going to do this until Tuesday. Little on-maintenance Tuesday basketball game next week. I look forward to it, but I also look forward again to the return of college basketball, which has been under the gun this offseason. I'll have more on that later. Andrea Edelson writing a piece today about that, about this offseason and about what you've endured if you're a big-time college basketball fan. You know, the place of college basketball on this the day where you have over 100 teams playing, I have to say, the place in our sports universe that college basketball holds is so diminished from when I was a kid. It really is. It has gone the way of the dodo. It is virtually like tennis. You know, this was a thing that I thought about. It was omnipresent in my sports thoughts in middle school. I mean, we walked around the halls talking college basketball all the time.
Yeah, that's foreign.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real thing, Tom. And really, I think it was probably the advent of ESPN. You know, the need for 24-hour-a-day content. Suddenly, you saw college basketball all the time, and I don't know. I used to sit and watch like the Tuesday night games with my stepdad. We loved Big East basketball back then. Used to love to watch it.
I remember when we first joined the ACC and we had those good teams coming out of the Metro, and that was the golden age for Florida State. I mean, good Lord, winning a football national championship for the first time. Then you have an Elite Eight run, and you have a couple of Hall of Famers. Florida State Hall of Famers at the very least, but, you know, you got some really, really good basketball players. And after that, it wasn't until the late 90s that I can really remember embracing college basketball again. I talked NBA my entire youth. If there was basketball, we were talking about the great wars in the Eastern Conference playoffs, you know, between Chicago, New York, Miami, Indiana.
You and I shared that at different times. Obviously, for me, I loved it. The NBA was great in the 80s, and it's been great, you know, since off and on. But especially I loved it. Maybe I'm nostalgic, but, you know, those Lakers-Celtics matchups were all-time great. But, you know, Celtics-Sixers and Celtics-Pistons and Celtics-Bulls and the West Coast, you know, Houston and L.A. were great to watch take each other. And Portland was great. And you had that Seattle run. And, you know, there were a lot of good stuff.
And when I was a kid, Orlando was, you know, making a splash.
That's right.
And so you know, a lot of my classmates.
Shaq and Penny.
Oh, my God.
That was fun. Every night I'd watch that. I'd come home every night.
Everybody wore Magic little shirts, you know, like the little Penny Hardaway jerseys. Yeah, I remember with the big star.
Little Penny was a hilarious concept, too, for commercials. Little Penny was funny. People forget about that campaign. They've had good sneaker campaigns over the years. Some really, you know, I remember Morris Blackman, obviously, Spike Lee with.
Sure.
It must be the shoes, money.
Well, I remember the Michael Jordan commercial where he's like going to Tibet or whatever, and he finds a monk, and the monk's like, Gatorade? And Michael Jordan's like, yeah, sure. He takes a sip of it.
I think I remember that one.
Oh, that's an old school Gatorade commercial.
Like
he's sweating, he's traversing and hiking and doing all this stuff.
Yeah. There's no way to set up another segment. Why don't we go to break and come back and do this? I don't know
Clemson, Florida State.
Yeah, I was like, I just derailed this thing. I don't know what I'm doing. Jeff Cameron Show. Oh, it's a loosey-goosey edition. Jeff Cameron Show, Libations Friday. Hang in there with us.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Wow, this is great. E+.
E+? Is that like A+?
It's better. The E stands for easy.
Easy Plus?
Yep. Easy ways to save energy, water, and money from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities. The City of Tallahassee Utilities has created easy ways to monitor your account with E+ online. We can pay online, we can check our balance online, compare usage history online, and even take a free online energy audit.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has created a new smart bill. Once we enroll, we do everything online. Billing, paying, everything. What a time saver. Not to mention saving energy, water, and money.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee Utilities Digitally smartphone app, we can do everything on our phone. Pretty incredible.
Plus, there are new authorized payment locations, like some local gas stations, grocery stores, other city departments, and more.
We can even go to the Renaissance Center at 435 North Macomb Street to pay our bill.
Wow. The E really does stand for easy, doesn't it?
It sure does. E+ from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities.
And now, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, as you sit in your car or on your stationary bicycle to victory, what do you ponder? Do you think about the fantasy trade your soon-to-be ex-best friend denied? That speech you rehearsed in the shower to confront the loud chewer at your office? Or have you forgotten what you think about? Fear not, because we have a lot on our minds, which includes a head of hair that must be maintained. Sport Clips Haircuts knows this, which is exactly why they created the ultimate haircut place for men who have other things to think about. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sweet, sweet sports on TV. Everything you need for the hair on your head and face with little thought, planning, or preparation. Watch sports, feel great, problem solved. Then when it's done, look in the mirror and say to yourself, well played, sir. Well played.
Sport Clips Haircuts. Find a location near you at sportclips.com.
Fire up the grills for another season of Seminole football.
2nd and 3, patient, then explosive, and a touchdown for the Noles.
It's Tallahassee Game Day, your ESPN Tallahassee pregame show, featuring Jeff Cameron and Tom Lang.
Yeah, I like them.
Get the latest news, interviews, and insights 3 hours ahead of kickoff before the Noles defend home turf.
Hey, on Saturday, we're going to play a game. We're going to most likely win that game, and we're going to celebrate on Sunday.
Tallahassee Game Day is brought to you by Whole Foods Market, a leader in natural and organic food that brings the highest quality of local and global products to Tallahassee. Whole Foods Market, located at 1817 Thomasville Road, and presented by MMT Clinics of Florida. Visit mmtcfl.com.
To the pylon! That's a Seminoles touchdown!
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Seahawks with a key injury to their secondary. Last night's win at Arizona, corner Richard Sherman ruptured his right Achilles, is done for the season. Sherman has never missed a game in his 7-year NFL career. Patriots claiming tight end Martellus Bennett off waivers yesterday after he was let go by the Packers. Bennett was at New England's practice today. ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network report that Bennett has been playing with a torn rotator cuff and torn labrum. College football marquee matchup tomorrow night with 7th-ranked Miami hosting number 3 Notre Dame. ESPN's Reese Davis on the matchup.
I think they're peaking right now, long story short. I think Notre Dame, if you had to ask me player for player, unit for unit, whole thing, who's the better team, I think I'd go Notre Dame. But I think that Miami has momentum and is playing its best football at the right moment.
And you can watch Miami Notre Dame tomorrow night on ABC at 8 Eastern. NBA Bucks head coach Jason Kidd says that point guard Eric Bledsoe will make his Milwaukee debut tonight when they visit San Antonio on ESPN at 9 Eastern. College basketball season tipping off. A pair of ranked teams going at it. West Virginia against Texas A&M. ESPN Radio, ESPN 6 Eastern.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
You know what's cool? This is encouraging. It's one of the few things that have been encouraging over the course of this season. But I was looking at the Tampa Times today. Or is it the Tampa? What is it called now?
The Tampa Bay Times.
Tampa Bay Times, yeah.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Strike the last one.
So I was there looking. I was reading a story about our game. And anyhow, you know, on most of these newspaper websites now, they have video and they have, you know, they want you to complete surveys and everything else. And in doing so, one of the questions that came up in a survey was, is Cam Akers the best freshman running back in the country? And I smiled because, look, obviously I get it. They want you to click on it, and it's the state of Florida, so they're appealing to the people here with a kid in the state. But I think it's a fun and legitimate question that can be asked, and that is the one good sign or one good thing that's happened. 700 yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns as a freshman means that he has lived up to the hype, and he hasn't been the featured guy until recently. So you're seeing from him now all of the things that we heard described about him when he committed to Florida State as a 5-star.
Yeah, there's no doubt that in my mind he has the most potential because he could beat you a couple of ways. I think the breakaway speed is coming.
The vision's coming too.
The vision's coming, but he already has the strength. He already has the body type, and he's only going to get more dense as the years go on.
I don't know how he could, man. He is huge.
It's crazy. But I would say, just to redirect to Clemson for one quick moment, that they have a freshman who's a specialty back right now, but Travis Etienne.
Etienne is really good.
That breakaway speed reminds me of, Chris Thompson. It's just breathtaking when he gets in the open field, and that's somebody you got to contain tomorrow afternoon.
Very upsetting, though, to see that they have now to go with power and strength and all of that they've had for some time with guys like Wayne Gallman and obviously even Kelly Bryant as a runner. To now have that speed is you really got to harken back to C.J. Spiller.
Right.
And that's kind of more of who he is.
Yeah, it's breathtaking. Now, he does have a bigger body type for a freshman. He's 5'10", 200, but that's not his style. That's not his game. If he misses that, makes you miss that first tackle.
Oh, no, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's really fast. I've seen him too. Believe me, I've sat over here just fretting over all of this.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong.
It's like the Rashad Green burst with the actual top end to match.
I'm going to make mention of some games here, so why don't we do an early version on a Friday? We could do an early version of Beer 30. I want to do so, I might say. It is Libations Friday, after all. Please, cue it up, good sir. Let's get it on.
Count 'em up, pour 'em out.
I'll just have a cup of coffee.
There it is.
It's Beer 30, brought to you by the 7th Hill Tap Room on Appalachian Parkway.
Ah, the glorious 7th Hill Tap Room, where today you could be downstairs grabbing yourself a crowler, or you could be grabbing just one of the 14 on-tap, fresh, tasty Florida craft brews. Step outside on the porch there and enjoy the weather as you sip that thing down and contemplate life.
Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot more of downstairs in the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill at the 7th Hill Tap Room. They got those big picnic tables out there, so people are enjoying the night air while enjoying, I don't know, a porter, a stout, an IPA. That's some good IPAs.
You got choices, Tom. You got choices.
We had some good IPAs in the last week and a half when we were at Ology and Deep, and, they pour local, Tallahassee area brews, not just the big Florida craft brew institutions at the 7th Hill.
By the way, I also, speaking of those two fine establishments to go along with the 7th Hill Tap Room, of course. I got the big growlers. Well, I bought them from each place. I like to contribute to the local economy, Tom.
Yeah.
And so I bought them, and I'm going to fill them today.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
I'm going to fill them.
There you go.
I'm excited
You could
to do
fill
so.
them at the Seven Hill Tap Room.
I could do that.
Because not only do they have 32-ounce can crowlers, which are great for Saturdays, tailgating, the glass restrictions in the parking lots, but they'll fill your growler for you, too. They got rates. They got by-the-ounce rates.
You remember when that thing was illegal?
Yeah.
Crazy. We
4 or
lived
5
in a
years
world
ago.
where that was just straight illegal. What are we doing? Grown-ups around here with damn blue laws dating back to stupider times. That is ridiculous. That's like when you read these laws about who you can have sex with and you can't. Just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've got my growlers, which I should have been able to have 4 and 5 years ago as a grown-up. I should be able to walk in there with a gas can if I want and have it filled with beer. What the hell do I, you know what I mean?
Hey, man, it's America. Then you can put that in your car and see what happens.
Let's look at I'm not suggesting
Fill
do-
it on up with a porter.
Well, when I was in college here, Tom, you could go through the drive-thru to get your beers filled.
Yeah.
And, Mike's Beer Barn did exactly that. And I always thought, we got all these laws that tell you don't do that. But by all means, come through the drive-thru and get your milk carton filled up with beer.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, you can still go through the drive-thru now and they'll get you packaged, legal beer.
Yeah.
But I
used to get a milk jug filled. I would go there with my milk jug, my gallon milk jug. I did this every Friday. I would go there and go through the drive-thru and tell them to fill it up with whatever.
I wonder if the Seventh Hill would accept a milk jug.
They
probably would,
you
right?
may have an issue, yeah. I would go and get, because I was broke, I would go and get, like, for next to nothing, I'd get a gallon of beer in my milk jug, and I'd just pick something cheap and spend hardly anything.
And you would wait to open up the jug
Yeah, I never
until
opened it.
you got where you're going.
That's always, well, there are laws, Tom.
That's
Of course,
right.
Yes. Let's look at some games.
Those are smart laws.
Let's look at some games, shall we? All right, here we go. We've got games all through the night. This will be our Beer 30 true segment instead of me just bitching about antiquated laws. Tonight, actually, there's a game that I have gambled on, and I'm going to watch it because I have. And I would have watched it anyhow because it's the game that's on. But because I've gambled on the game, I'm really going to be watching it.
I'm going to watch this game because it's the game that's on, but it's a game I'd watch if it wasn't just the game that was on. If there were multiple games that were on,
I'd
I would
watch
this game.
This game, yes.
Because it's on.
Yeah, Washington versus Stanford. It actually made sense what I said there.
It did.
Yeah,
It did.
Washington versus Stanford.
It's being Yogi Berra there for a second.
10:30 on FS1. I like Washington's defense. You know what I'm saying? I like Washington.
That's the worst sound on a microphone ever because I was going to say something. Instead, I sound like a dog breathing in the mic.
I like Washington's defense against Stanford. For those that may be sporting guys or gals, I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But 6.5 is that number. 6.5. I like the less than a touchdown, Tom. And the defense.
Fewer than 7.
Fewer than 7, indeed. On Saturday, if this floats your boat, here you go. It is a Park Your Ass Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Begins at noon, Michigan State, Ohio State. Who would have thought Michigan State would be the higher-ranked team in that matchup? Ohio State's going to win that game, but by how much? Well, will it be the 17 that I've seen floating around? Rutgers, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State. I'm not going to watch Rutgers, Penn State. I will watch Oklahoma State, Iowa State. NC State, BC also. Damn, the noon slates, Tom.
Yeah, man.
What
and
do we got? We also got Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech at 12:20.
I believe also at noon you have Duke and Army. All right. Are we in?
All right, Army. Let's do this thing on Veterans Day, right? Yeah. Good on you, Army. Thanks for your service, Dad, and to your dad as well, and all the others that are listening that have indeed served. And you don't need me to remind you, it is not Memorial Day. It is not a sad occasion. It's Veterans Day.
This is a positive occasion.
Yeah, it's a positive
Thanks to all the
occasion.
101 Airborne, just like my pop out there.
Thanks for your service. That is a hell of a commitment. One I couldn't make. Didn't want to. I don't know that I would have done well in the service, Tom. Just me. I mean, you do what you got to do. We all do, but that'd have been a toughie.
No, man, I'm proud of my dad because the guy I know now, I can't possibly envision lapelling out of helicopters. But
Right.
that's what he did.
That's what he did.
Won
Yeah.
a Bronze Star.
Yeah. It's awesome when you meet people who are a certain way and you talk to them at length, and then out of nowhere they drop on you that they jumped out of airplanes in the Army, and you go, what? You did that?
Oh, yeah. When I was in high school, he showed me some hand-to-hand combat tactics he learned, and wow, okay.
That's pretty cool.
He was prepared.
He's ready to beat some ass.
Yes, he was.
Come on. Let's get it on.
5'8", 160. He's like, what you got?
I got a little something for you.
He goes, I was small, but I was lucky I didn't have to go in any of the tunnels. I didn't have to dig any trenches.
No.
I didn't have to look at the tunnels.
Well, now, you're not supposed to refuse an order. You could never make this thing work if we're out here refusing orders.
Correct.
But what I'm telling you is this. I think I would have said, no, I'm not going in the tunnel. Now, I'm probably too big to get in the tunnel. But what I'm telling you is, if I wasn't and they said, you got to go in that tunnel, I'd have said, I'm not going in that tunnel. You can F yourself. I'm not going in the tunnel.
Yeah, my pop got shelled the first day that he got there and reported overseas. The base got mortared. And as he talks about his stories, the number one thing he comes back to is basic. And he talks about, those movies and you see people chucking grenades and they're kind of tossing them?
Yeah.
No, your DI tells you, chuck that thing as hard as you can. He said, I was a pitcher. So my DI told me, you got a good arm, Lang.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Yeah, my dad always comes back to basic training as well. I think everybody's stories of the military, outside of obviously combat, if they engaged in combat, is basic training, because you're just wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and you don't know anything about nothing, and you get there and it's a rude awakening and everybody has to deal with people from different regions of the country that don't look like them, talk like them, act like them, and you're all in the same boat and you got a guy screaming you down, and sometimes it's downright funny.
Yeah, at some point your dad and my dad will be here in Tallahassee at the same time. We'll have to get them together, see where they were stationed, if they had any similar
let them talk
similar
about,
paths
talk about it all. Yeah, usually that happens once a year. I'm somewhere with my dad and he runs into a guy that's going to the game, like a Florida State game, and he too was in the military. He too was in the same region. He too, they like, oh, here we go. This is going to be ours. I'll see you at the seat, Dad. I've heard this story.
You hear all kinds of letters.
It's all it's all good. You just hear all kinds of letters like, I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
You were hanging out in LBC with this Snoop D-O-double-G.
Iowa, Wisconsin at 3:30. I'm also going to do. I may have had a good look at this Southern Cal Colorado game, Tom.
Oh, yeah?
Just letting you know.
What does the look tell you?
13.5 is not that many to give a bad Colorado team.
Okay.
Just telling you what that look says.
USC's kind of playing some good football these days.
That's what they do. USC, they make you give up on them early in the year. You go, I don't think so. And then you come back around.
They give you a November to remember.
That's what they do. And then finally the nightcap with two good games, Notre Dame and Miami, followed by TCU and Oklahoma. There's your Beer 30,
and
brought to you by the Seventh Hill Tap Room.
You could enjoy your Seventh Hill Cup Club Cup for $1 off all drafts
Club Cup
as you're watching all of those games. It pays for itself, people.
Yeah, it's worth it. There's no doubt. You've heard us talking about a pimping it, and yeah, sure, it's paid advertisement, but in truth, that you would do that even if they weren't, because it does pay for itself. It's a good deal.
And if you want to watch one game, like you can watch multiple TVs at the Seventh Hill if you have a good seat, but if you want to just go to the bar, watch a game, and have a conversation, that's the place, man.
Well, and it should be noted, today's the start of college basketball season. So listen, there's going to be now moving forward. I have to tell you, I do enjoy just sort of like white noise, like a long baseball season. I do like knowing that I can walk into places now about town, whether I'm having dinner or it could be at the Seventh Hill Tap Room, could be at Corner Pocket, whatever it is, where I walk in, sit down, and there's a college basketball game on now frequently. You're like, oh, look, St. John's is on. All right, I'll watch this.
You're the squeaking of the shoes.
Yeah.
And
I actually do like it. It's comforting. Yeah. It's kind of comforting. You're like, okay, oh, look at this. Kentucky's on. I'm going to watch Kevin Knox. Haven't seen him play. All right, this will be interesting. Like, it's fun.
Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been here.
Yeah.
Didn't.
Nope.
He's at Kentucky.
Yeah. Probably a good choice.
Probably a good choice indeed. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
.com/FAQ. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Proof Brewing Company is Tallahassee's first and largest production craft brewery since 2012. 6-pack cans. Follow Proof Brewing Company on Facebook or visit online at proofbrewingco.com for more info. Proof Brewing Company reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought...
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Well done on a loosey-goosey edition of the Jeff Cameron Show. Libations Friday should always feature Old Dirty Bastard. Hey, before I get to Hell to the Gnaw, let's have fun at this racist expense as he got fired. I love when dumbasses tweet things to reveal themselves to be the horror show that they are. A high school golf coach resigned a day after posting tweets directed towards Darrell Wallace Jr., nicknamed Bubba, who next season will become the first full-time African-American NASCAR Cup driver since 1971. I did not know that. I haven't been following NASCAR at all. Cambridge, Wisconsin high school coach Brent Nottestead tweeted several times to Wallace on Wednesday, including making a reference to Wallace's grandmother who died a year ago when he wrote, "Did Granny Jan die in a police shooting?" According to the Cambridge News, Nottestead also tweeted, "Hey, Bubba Wallace, please quit with the I'm black BS. You're terrible. There are 1,423 more credible drivers to get that ride than you." And to a photo of Wallace and a fan, almost looks like going to the zoo, he tweeted. The number 1,423 is often used as a reference to a white supremacist group, according to the Anti-Defamation League. Did you know that? I did not know that.
I had no idea.
I had never heard of that. The tweets have been deleted. Oh, really? Wallace, whose tribute to his grandmother is pinned to his profile, responded to Nottestead's tweets on Wednesday night, saying, "You're a smart guy, huh? A disgusting but smart guy? This makes you look pathetic and weak. It's sad. You said what you meant, and now you're worried about the repercussions that I pray to God will happen. Oh, and Granny Jan hopes so, too. While I truly feel sorry for your kids, again, to have so much hate towards somebody you've never met. Hope your kids grow up to be the exact opposite of a father that you are." Nottestead resigned yesterday, according to a news release from the school. The Cambridge School District was made aware of several offensive comments made on social media by Cambridge High School boys golf coach Brent Nottestead. After a meeting between Mr. Nottestead and the school district officials this morning, Mr. Nottestead resigned his position with the district effective immediately. At this time, it's a personal matter. No other statements will be made. Nottestead, who coached for 4 years and held no other position at the school, told ESPN via direct message that he was disgusted with himself. I wish I could go back in time, but I can't. I honestly don't know what I was thinking. Perhaps I was just trying to be a tough guy behind a computer screen. I really don't know. He went on to say, I assure you I had no idea of the meaning of that number. It was merely a random number I chose. I can promise you that. I've let a lot of people down and I've lost the job I truly loved doing. I've driven the axe further into the civil rights fight when we were trying to remove it as a country. I'm so sorry for what I've done. I'm going to reach out to Bubba soon. I don't expect him to forgive me, but I'll give it a shot. Oh, so we're to believe that the guy who's writing racist text to this driver randomly chose a number that is frequently used to represent white supremacist groups.
Whether he did or didn't, there's a top 5 list you could make out of the tweets he offered up. One thing I would say that I do believe he said, like I do believe him, he wishes he could go back in time.
Yeah, I think he does.
I think he does.
In more ways than one, he surely wishes he could go back in time. That we all could, especially guys like Bubba Wallace Jr. He would really like that. Not going to happen. Now he's without a job and probably unhireable. Beautiful. That's a good thing. All right, let's do it. Hail to the Nah Team of the Week. Good times. Let's make it happen.
Hell no to the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
Well, I'm wrestling, and no, I'm not going to go with Florida State as the Hell to the Nah Team of the Week.
Many people were expecting this.
Yeah, they thought I would go that route, but no, I'm not happy about it. I'm not doing it. I'm tempted. You know what? We've never done it this way. We can do it one of many ways. I'm going to propose to you. Let's have a vote. Perhaps.
I don't know that I'm ready, Jeff.
I think you are. I'll bestow that very, very important role on you for a moment.
I just need some time.
Connecticut's getting 40.5 points against UCF.
Mm-hmm.
We could put a call into UConn on a Monday morning after a big upset victory against UCF.
You guys have any Jim Calhoun signed gear?
I just want a picture of Jim Calhoun and all of his bitterness.
And it says, in quotes underneath it, I make a lot more than that.
Yeah. Which was hilarious at press conference. Anyhow, UConn's getting 40.5. They would seem to be a fairly obvious choice. Rutgers, who I bet successfully last week to beat Maryland, is getting 31 against Penn State, who may be downtrodden after their loss to Michigan State. Probably not. So Rutgers is a choice that you could make, getting 31. There are a few others, but none really seem to come to mind better than that. The 40.5. I got to be honest with you, Tom. I believe we're looking at UConn, are we not?
I think so. I'd nominated Kansas earlier in the day.
30-something points?
I think it was 33, 34 points, depending upon where you can get the number. With Texas, it's a revenge game for Texas. But,
oh, how sad, sir.
I don't know. You want me to make the call? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just thought maybe you'd have a compelling angle to help me decide, and you'd make the case. But you don't, so I'm going to go with UConn. UConn is your Hell to the Nah Team of the Week, receiving 40.5 against, a pick right now that is a sexy pick. People love them some UCF and Scott Frost, don't they?
See, because I feel like, all right, even with your Penn State Rutgers pick, potentially, that has a 5% chance of happening. I feel like with Kansas and Texas, that probably has a 7.5% chance of happening.
I'd go as high as 10%. I don't think much of Texas.
I think UConn has a 0.0%
I do too.
chance
That's exactly
of winning.
Okay. So we're along the same lines because remember, folks, it's not about the cover; it's about the win. You got to get the win to be the first ever Hell to the Nah Team of the Week that has actually won a game. It is the only way that we will end that particular feature of the Jeff Cameron Show. We'll come up with a new one. Don't worry. Don't get too sad. I will find something else that's fun. You just want to be able to hear that song.
It's lingering. It's echoing in the winds.
It is. UConn, congratulations. You are our Hell to the Nah Team of the Week.
To the no, no. Hell to the no, no. To the no, 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 no. Hell to the no, no. To the no, 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 no.
Just take that to break, man. Go ahead and crank it. Crank it. Take it to the break.
To the no, 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 hell.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
And he's nothing like Keith. Keith never wants to do anything. Why are we even talking about Keith? Always Game Gary is famous among friends. He deserves a Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB St. Louis, Missouri.
You wake up to birds chirping before the alarm even starts to ring. It's 6 a.m. and dawn's barely here. A choir of birds singing in your ear. It was cute at first, but now it's just the worst. Wrap it up, guys. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
When you've had a morning, let us make you breakfast, like Taco Bell's Breakfast Crunch Wrap. A whole breakfast wrapped up and grilled to eat on the go. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Seahawks with a key injury to their secondary. Last night's win at Arizona, corner Richard Sherman ruptured his right Achilles, is done for the season. Sherman has never missed a game in his 7-year NFL career. Patriots claiming tight end Martellus Bennett off waivers yesterday after he was let go by the Packers. Bennett was at New England's practice today. ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network report that Bennett has been playing with a torn rotator cuff and torn labrum. College football marquee matchup tomorrow night with 7th-ranked Miami hosting number 3 Notre Dame. ESPN's Reese Davis on the matchup.
I think they're peaking right now, long story short. I think Notre Dame, if you had to ask me player for player, unit for unit, whole thing, who's the better team, I think I'd go Notre Dame. But I think that Miami has momentum and is playing its best football at the right moment.
And you can watch Miami Notre Dame tomorrow night on ABC at 8 Eastern. NBA Bucks head coach Jason Kidd says that point guard Eric Bledsoe will make his Milwaukee debut tonight when they visit San Antonio on ESPN at 9 Eastern. College basketball season tipping off. A pair of ranked teams going at it. West Virginia against Texas A&M. ESPN Radio, ESPN 6 Eastern.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
to Jeff Cameron Show on a glorious Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program. All right, about time to talk to Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. We'll do so momentarily. By the way, you can always check us out online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. We'll post the show on iTunes and our own audio vault as soon as it concludes, all 3 hours. Get caught up at your leisure and with limited commercial interruption. That's a good thing. You can email us if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. You can always find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. All right. WTSM app works well, and you can watch us on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. Let's welcome him in right now. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, 2-2-1 last week. All right, we're gonna make a big splash this weekend. Lee, how are you, brother?
Doing okay.
Good.
Just waiting. You know, Saturday night, big day. I went to the Dolphin game, first time ever. After 3 quarters, I looked at my wife and I go, "I'm exhausted. Let's leave." I'd never left a Dolphin game early, but after going to the UM game Saturday and the Dolphin game Sunday and tailgating hard both days,
yeah,
I'm like, let's get home and I'll watch the last 5 minutes on TV.
Yeah, that could take a lot out of you. Beating the crowd is the thing to do there, and especially because you guys. So you were at the Raiders Dolphins game.
Yeah. That and I took my wife. I wanted her to see it more than anything. She had never been to a Raiders game, and she looked at me and she goes, "Some of these fans," she goes, it's like reading a cartoon book. You know, I mean,
no, they're insane.
I mean, it looks like they just jumped out of jail. You know, out of prison window to come to the game. I mean, not the highest end fans you're normally going to see.
No, if you go to a game out there, it's especially intriguing.
I saw a game out there. Yeah, I mean, you do not. Like, if you're a Kansas City fan,
you don't wear that gear in there. No.
You're going to get the you-know-what beat out of you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love that commercial. Have you seen the commercial with the Raider fan?
Yeah.
That's a great commercial.
Wisconsin giving 12 to Iowa, who just brutally beat down Ohio State in one of the great games I've ever seen. I smiled ear to ear watching Urban Meyer having to think about feigning another heart attack. But Iowa getting 12 here against Wisconsin, who hadn't played anybody. What do you think?
No love for Urban Meyer either, and Ohio State after the robbery in the desert in 2002. and I actually had it. That was my 40-unit college football underdog shocker last week. So that was sweet. And I think if you bet against Iowa, I think going forward, I think you're making a mistake. This team's on a roll right now. They're balanced. I mean, 243 rushing yards in that game last week, 244 through the air against Ohio State. They finally took the training wheels off Nathan Stanley. I'm watching this kid. I'm saying he's good, but they're not letting him do anything. Last week they finally did. He throws 5 touchdowns. This Wisconsin team, I can think, Jeff, and I think you could too, of 15 teams that if they were matched up against Wisconsin, I think they win.
Oh, so, maybe more. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm being kind.
Yeah.
This is a political show. So. And now they're beaten up at wide receiver. 3 of the top 4 receivers to start the year will not play in this game. 3 of the top 4 linebackers are done for the season. And how about this stat? The Hawkeyes, when getting 6 or more points as an underdog, playing a team with a winning percentage above 750, and Wisconsin certainly qualifies being undefeated, Iowa Hawkeyes are 11-0 against the spread. I'm going to go with Wisconsin here, 26-23, to win the game, but the Hawkeyes cover easy.
Georgia and Auburn is a great game on the Plains, and I like Auburn's defense here. Georgia's given 2.5. Talk to me.
Well, that's the sexy pick. Everyone I've talked to, probably 4 to 5 people, when you ask them for an underdog play, they'll give you Auburn here. And their quarterback, I think, might be a little bit better than Georgia's quarterback, but I think everything else, I think Auburn is up against it here. I think Georgia does better on offense, defense, and special teams. Now, under Mark Richt, the last couple of years, they had some problems covering punts and kickoffs, would have a couple gaffes, field goals that would cost them. Kirby Smart has cleaned up that area, and now Auburn is having some problems here on special teams here. I think the Dogs just kind of went through. It was like a workmanlike win last week against South Carolina. Series favorite also 6-2 against the spread. I'm going with Georgia. I think they keep rolling here, 28-20.
Notre Dame against your Canes. Some places this is 3.5. That hook really matters. You've got it here from me at 3. I love this Notre Dame team. Very physical, run the football very well.
You love everyone who's playing Miami.
Well, typically that's true. But I like this Notre Dame team. I have all year long, and I know you know that because we've talked about Notre Dame. They're a real good football team. Miami's been finding ways, and they played perhaps their best game of the year last week. Does the magic end?
I think it's going to be tough for Miami. I think what you're going to see, watch the cornerbacks in this game. And Notre Dame, in a couple of their games against better teams like Michigan State, Georgia, and North Carolina State, they had their cornerbacks playing up because they felt that the receivers couldn't beat them. I think they're going to have their cornerbacks playing off. I think they're going to play a lot of zone in this game. They're going to make Miami go on these 12, 14, 15-play drives, and they want to make Malik Rozier, who's completed just 44% of his passes the last 2 games, beat him on these long drives. And they think that, in my opinion, that Miami can't do it. Now, the Notre Dame offensive line, they got a couple guys that are probably going to go in the first round the next couple of years. They're huge. The smallest kid goes 305. Biggest one's almost 340. They're tight ends, 6'6", almost 260 pounds. How about this for a running game? Game 1, they ran for over 400 yards. Game 3, over 500. Each of the last 5, at least 318. Miami's going to need a couple things to happen. They're going to need the crowd to really get involved, which I expect, but they're going to need maybe a punt block. Tyler Newsome, their punter's had 3 blocked in the last year and a half. He's a weakness. Maybe Wimbush on 3rd and long throws a couple picks. It's going to be tough here for Miami. I'm going to take Notre Dame 24-17, and here's what happened this week. Yesterday, I guess my daughter heard me on one of the shows. My daughter, is the cheerleader for Miami. She'll be front and center on game day, she found out. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for her, and this is what college football is all about. But she heard me, I guess, on one of the shows. She was listening on one of her phones walking around the campus, and she texted me, and she said, I just listened to you on the radio, and I heard you pick Notre Dame. You're a stone-cold traitor.
Well, she's got to know that you have to be objective, good sir.
I know.
Yeah.
I texted her back, honey, I got to pay for your education. You only got a $2,000 scholarship for cheerleading, and I think she got Bright Futures, and in-state they give another $3,000. You got $7,000 off the $60,000, honey. I had to come up with $53,000. And she came home for dinner last night. You would have thought there was a wall in between us. Not a word. Not a word.
Well, if you get it right, you can say, honey, at least Daddy made a few bucks off of Miami's dismay.
Oh, no. You don't trust me. It's a radio pick. It won't be given to my clients, but, I think Notre Dame's the right side. If Miami wins, so I'll take the loss.
Hey, listen, Clemson should just beat the bejesus out of Florida State this weekend. Right. I don't see this being remotely close for one specific reason, and it's a good one. Florida State will not be able to block Clemson. No. And so that's, you can't win football games when you can't block the opposing team's defensive line. Clemson's given 16. Is it too rich?
I don't think so. I think that this Clemson team, when they are healthy, they're real good. Some other teams might have folded last week. NC State kept coming at them. They fell behind early, but they were the better team here. And except for hitting on some big plays last week, Florida State I thought was actually outplayed. Florida State, like I said, a nice effort last week, but their defense was on the field for 95 plays. That's going to be tough too for the defense. Knowles 3-5 straight up, 0-7-1 against the spread. It'll be 0-8-1 after Saturday. I'm going with Clemson 40-17.
I don't know how we're going to score 17.
Yeah.
New Orleans giving 2
Garbage time. Yeah. Garbage time,
okay,
right?
Some late scores. Yeah. New Orleans in Buffalo is an intriguing game. I actually like the Saints' defense in this matchup. Talk to me about the Saints giving 2 to the Bills.
It could be weather. Weather could be a real factor here in this game. So follow that and see what goes on there. Everyone talks about cornerbacks. Who are the cornerbacks up against when Drew Brees is the quarterback? In this game, I think it's more important. Look at the safeties, and Buffalo does a really good job of masking their coverages. They have 2 of the best in Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. So I think they might be able to hold New Orleans in check some here. Their defense is giving up just 18 points a game here. Look at who the Saints, and the Saints are much improved on defense. I mean, they are the surprise 1 or 2 team right now in the NFC. But look at who they played this year. A beat-up Sam Bradford, Jay Cutler, Brett Hundley in his first game, Jameis Winston at about 70% with a wing and a half, and Mitch Trubisky. So
yeah.
Even some middle-of-the-road teams can beat up on those quarterbacks here. And Kelvin Benjamin looks like will be involved in the offense this week. I like Buffalo. Wrong team's favored 27-24.
Game of the week, good sir, is Alabama, Mississippi State. Alabama, depending on where you're going for that line, anywhere from 14.5 down to 13.5 in some places. Obviously, that point would be a huge difference. How do the folks get that game?
Just call me here at the office, 800-400-9741. We'll give you Bama and Mississippi State on me. I'll even throw in the Florida game. I'll throw in the Florida game this week against South Carolina. South Carolina's laying 6 to Florida. So you want to get both of those games. We'll give you a nice parlay on those two. Just call 800-400-9741. Both of them are free. And last week we hit on college football 40-unit underdog shocker number 2 in a row with Iowa plus 20. They win 55-24. College football underdog shocker number 3 goes this weekend. It's a 40-unit play. We're 31-10 on these 40 to 50-unit plays over the last 8+ seasons. So you want to get involved. You don't have to buy a month or a season. You can buy a weekend, total of 9 games, Saturday and Sunday, just $97, $11 a selection, under $11 a selection, 9 for $97, and it will include college football underdog shocker number 3 in a row. It's all available, ParamountSports.com.
Be well, good sir. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the atmosphere. Have fun, and I'll talk to you again next week.
Okay, thanks.
Take care. All right, Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Again, he's going with Iowa over Wisconsin. He's got Georgia over Notre Dame. He's got over Auburn. I can't speak all of a sudden. He's got Notre Dame over Miami. He's got Clemson big over Florida State, and he's got Buffalo. When he was talking about the Saints and the Bills, and I can see that being a game. That's not a game I'm going to play in my personal life, but I could see, both angles here. He was talking about the quarterbacks the Saints defense has had to face and that they haven't exactly been a wrecking crew. Well, he's right, but they're facing Tyrod Taylor, who's average on his best day. So, again, they're not facing a good quarterback.
I think Tyrod's firmly established himself as an average to above average NFL quarterback, which is better than, he was given credit for in the beginning.
Oh, I think Tyrod Taylor's a success story, but you just said it there, which was reiterating my point. He's established himself as an average quarterback.
Yeah, but they're able to run the football as well. So, listen, his point about quarterback play is correct about what New Orleans has faced this year. And last week, I remember thinking, and even the way Dirk called the game in New Orleans, there are some open things. It's just your quarterback can't throw the freaking football. You might have, and the way New Orleans called the game was curious too. In the first, second quarter, they're calling a lot of runs, which I never understood. Why don't you pass all day?
Yeah, I thought it was
Grimes is out.
I thought it was bizarre too. I actually thought that was a poorly coached game. I don't know, man. Listen, I don't think the Bills are going to line up and run the ball well against the Saints, and I don't think that Tyrod Taylor is a difference maker. So I guess what I'm saying is you're not facing an elite quarterback yet again. You're facing, on a good day, an average quarterback in the league. That's what he is, and so. I wouldn't have a problem picking the Bills' side here because they're very similar teams in that neither are elite. So I get it. I'm not all in on the Saints. I just think the Saints' defense is pretty good. And I tell you a game I want to see is in a couple of weeks. The Saints play the Rams. 2 surprise teams in the league, and for a lot of reasons. And that game is game's in Los Angeles, so I'm going to I'll pick the Rams.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's a good game. The Saints have an interesting stretch here. It's an important stretch for them if they're going to be a playoff team because they got the Bills. That's an imminently winnable game. They have the Washington game next week. That's a winnable game. That's in New Orleans, by the way. After the Rams, they have the Panthers in New Orleans. They have the Falcons, and they have the Jets. The Saints could be
I think their record will be better than what they are.
I believe that's true.
It's smoke and mirrors, but one thing is true. A.J. Klein is really, really good. We saw that from week 1 against Dalvin Cook and the Vikings, and how many more yards and touchdowns would Dalvin have had if it's not for freaking 53 running him down from all kinds of crazy angles?
Yeah.
That dude is a difference maker on defense, and that would help in the run game this weekend if the weather calls for, a 30-35 carry game for LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, and they're a weird team. I mean, the Saints, it's true. I mean, they got fortunate with some games against quarterbacks that are certainly not any good at all, and so Lee's right to point that out. But I do think they're vastly improved. I do think they play like they believe. I thought they played a terrible game against the Bucs, and yet they won the game going away, obviously, because Jameis couldn't play and couldn't play well. And
block a punt for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was,
good Lord.
As soon as that happens, you kind of just roll your eyes because it's true with the statistics about block kicks in the NFL.
That's
especially.
a default win. They didn't have to do a damn thing.
No, they really didn't. So it's hard to gauge. It'll be. This is a good game. This is a very good football game. Not one that anybody should be playing. Like if you're trying to gamble on this game, that's crazy to me. And the NFL is in general very difficult, but this isn't the one you're choosing. But, the super bet card that they do out in Vegas, you got to pick every game. And so, obviously all these lines matter greatly, and these guys are scouring these lines on Monday, or excuse me, on Monday, because the super bet cards that they pass out, when you do the super bet, if you win that thing, and if you're in it with a bunch of other people, it's very hard to do. But there are people who go undefeated in a given weekend. Thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So I have a family member who's in Deadpool, and they're one of 10 remaining in this particular pool.
Oh wow!
And it's $24,000 if you win this thing.
See, like that's kids going to college money,
right?
Like this is a big damn deal.
I won't divulge which family member it is. It's not the man in the mirror, unfortunately.
That family member is locked in.
You talk about screaming at your television now.
Oh yeah, no. That's a different deal. I mean, I don't want to put us in an awkward position. I don't know what the most you've ever bet on a game is, but I will say that that changes things a lot. I mean, I have a couple of moments in my life where I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. Well, one of them, which I didn't even get paid for.
This is true.
Clemson, Louisville.
Yeah.
I watched that game very intently.
How many points, do you have on top of the wager there? Is the meter still running?
Oh, well, I don't at this point I don't know what I'm going to do, man. I don't
in
even
some circles that would be up to about $50,000 by now.
It would be. In other circles somebody would be hurt. So, it's one of those things where just keep on keeping on. I don't like to think about it because the latter option would be the problem for me, right? I can't do that. Got a wife and kids. Got a job. Don't want to be breaking people's legs. I do, but I don't. I want to. I'm not going to. But, yeah, a weekend's worth of games when you have that on the line like they do with your family member and like these super cards out in Vegas, I would love to be around one of these guys who's like, on the weekend going into the night game on Sunday, got it rolling with a chance to win that thing. That's $200,000.
That'd be nice.
Oh my goodness gracious! But how many times have you ever had an undefeated weekend in the NFL with just picking winners? Just picking winners. Not even the spread.
No, I had an 8-0-1 this year, and then I had, which is undefeated, but it's not a home run. But then we had our old league where I was 5-0, I think 2 or 3 times.
Right, and those are 5 games.
But that's just 5.
But you got to take the whole slate.
Right.
Somebody's got to win on every spread for every game. $200,000. You'd be chasing that your whole life. It's like the trifecta you're not going to get it.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, Only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV. And get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Online, we can check our balance online, compare usage history online, and even take a free online energy audit.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has created a new smart bill. Once we enroll, we do everything online. Billing, paying, everything. What a time saver. Not to mention saving energy, water, and money.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee Utilities Digitally smartphone app, we can do everything on our phone. Pretty incredible.
Plus, there are new authorized payment locations, like some local gas stations, grocery stores, other city departments, and more.
We can even go to the Renaissance Center at 435 North Macomb Street to pay our bill.
Wow. The E really does stand for easy, doesn't it?
It sure does. E Plus from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. Your own utilities.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, introducing Nissan's Express Service.
Express Service means oil changes in 45 minutes or less.
With no appointment necessary. Here's how it works. When you come to Kraft Nissan for an oil change, you're greeted by a dedicated Express Service advisor. Sign the advisor's iPad and have a seat in our waiting room. A team of 2 lube technicians will immediately take your car directly to service and complete the oil change. And remember, Kraft Nissan services all makes and models. We sell tires for less. Compare us to the box stores and compare us to the tire stores. We'll beat their price. Plus, new tires come with free rotations for the life of the tires. We also have our Value Advantage line of parts that are priced to compete with aftermarket and parts stores, but still have full Nissan factory warranty. So competitively priced that Kraft Nissan will give you a 30-day price match guarantee in writing. And we offer the Kraft Nissan service card, same as cash for 6 months on purchases over $299.
So give us a try. Oil changes in 45 minutes or less and no appointment necessary. Just stop by.
Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Service card with approved credit.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sometimes we forget from one year to the next with college basketball who did what. Yeah, North Carolina's your reigning champion.
Champion in a lot of ways.
It's unbelievable, right? Andrea Edelson writes on that point today, Tom, when last we actually saw a basketball game, North Carolina won a championship while questions swirled about its protracted pending NCAA case, which they ended up winning against impossible odds, unless the fix is in. Over the ensuing 7 months, madness has consumed the sport. A massive FBI investigation into fraud and corruption ensnared 4 assistants at Auburn, Oklahoma State, Southern Cal, and Arizona, a high-level sneaker exec, and led to Rick Pitino's ouster at Louisville. Hell of an offseason. Auburn's head coach Bruce Pearl refused to cooperate with his own school's investigation, putting into question now his job status. By the way, Bruce Pearl, whom everybody wanted us to go out and get rid of Leonard Hamilton, go get Bruce Pearl, despite all the problems he had at Tennessee, and now under investigation by his own school at Auburn.
Hashtag a-hole.
Mm-hmm. Really likable dude in front of the camera. I mean, charismatic, fun. Kids can't wait to play for him, or so we thought, right? That's what everybody. Go get Bruce Pearl.
Hashtag a-hole.
So Auburn already made the decision to withhold forward D'Angelo Purifoy and center Austin Wiley out indefinitely through potential eligibility issues that apparently Bruce Pearl was choosing to ignore.
Hashtag a-hole.
Louisville's done the same with freshman Brian Bowen. Alabama freshman Colin Sexton, the number 7 player on ESPN's Top 100, number 14 in the list top 50 players in the country, who was held out of an exhibition game already, now suspended for the opener due to NCAA rules violations. LeVar Ball's middle son, LeAngelo, 2 teammates were arrested earlier this week for shoplifting in China, where UCLA is in town to play Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, longtime friend of Coach Josh Pastner, told CBS Sports that Pastner had firsthand knowledge about impermissible benefits that led to an indefinite suspension for players, 2 players on that Georgia Tech team now. That's just all before the first game is played, to go along with North Carolina getting off without any NCAA sanctions. Sports in a precarious position. Chaos has ruled the day, and there's a lot of very angry people about the significant issues of college basketball and the significant distractions in each of the power conferences with all of their top teams, or so it would seem.
Yeah, the one thing about our program and the place that it's in is we're interesting for just about the entire season, most seasons, because we need every win we can get to the tournament. So people who care about Florida State basketball have to care from now, like next Tuesday when they open the season, all the way through, because your non-conference wins are going to help your RPI later in the season, all that kind of stuff. But for most people in college basketball, they'll read that for about 3 seconds and click on to the next article because they care once we get to the madness. Maybe when you get to bubble bursting season,
the conference tournaments and
conference
so forth,
tournaments, and oh my God, Siena lost, and
that's going to take a bid from so and so.
Right, exactly right. Yeah. So I think for most people, this doesn't affect them all that much, but in the college sports community, athletic departments across the country,
it's a huge deal.
Everybody is they're dreading that phone call.
Well, look what's going on right now in the AP Top 25, for example. You have 4 teams directly impacted. Number 3, Arizona. The number 3 team in the country. Number 10 is Southern Cal, directly impacted, had assistants arrested. Number 16, Louisville, has an interim coach in David Padgett. Miami, Jim Larinaga, is dealing with an FBI investigation. Larinaga said he thinks he's coach 3 in the FBI report. Now, he claims he's innocent, but nonetheless, it's a distraction. You have player suspensions already announced. There could be from what I'm reading, bad news coming this week as the games get started. So you have uncertainty, you have trepidation, you have frustration, you have fear. It's an FBI wiretapping investigation, folks. It's not 2 coaches standing around just saying, well, we got Jimmy a pair of shoes. No, I mean, it's big stuff. Roy Williams saying it's putting people in jail. He's talking about there are guys going to jail for a long time.
I would believe that there is more coming out this week. You know how these things work. Typically, when the light is shining the brightest, that's when investigators like to make their claims and like to put out things to the news. So that would make a ton of sense.
You get this discussion about how it relates to the core of amateurism and how to address new age problems, and Billis has written his opus and everybody else has about what they think should be done, and some high-profile coaches have talked about it. Tad Boyle, the coach of Colorado, said this. Well, you know what's going on. You always have. You see what's going on, but you can't prove what's going on. That's the earth-shattering stuff that went down, though. The FBI said, yeah, we can. We've got proof. We've got transcripts. We've got wiretaps. We've got surveillance that proves that these people are underhanded and criminal, quote, unquote. Yes, Tad, that they do. They've got the proof. Everything all of these coaches have talked about for some time, like, I know this goes on. I hate that it does. There's measures of cheating going on across the country in this sport. It really makes it hard to compete and know who's on the up and up. But what can you do about it? It's just so frustrating. It's so convoluted, and nothing can be tied to coaches directly. And now they can.
Yes, it can.
Now it can. And the biggest name in college basketball over the last 30 years, arguably, is no longer employed. That's what this did. You know, that's
Wait a minute. I'm in trouble. Why am I in trouble?
Oh, man, you're right. Sorry.
I have dignity.
Sorry, Coach K.
Dignity.
A years-long FBI investigation results in corruption charges against 4 NCAA assistant basketball coaches, and ultimately the firing of Rick Pitino is what comes out of all of this, and that's fun. That's fun. I've wondered for many years now just what would be the unraveling to Rick Pitino's career. I mean, if banging a woman at an Italian restaurant while your assistant hides under the table, getting her pregnant and paying for the abortion didn't get you fired from your position at a university, I really began to think nothing would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, those are the kinds of things
If
that
you're
typically,
Teflon through that.
I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
He survived that time.
Now, he's still proclaiming his innocence in this situation.
Well, yes,
but
he
I'm
is.
telling you, he's going to be caught dead to rights. He's going to say, well, of course I did. And he's going to pull a quick 180.
And 9/11 will be evoked.
Well, and he's going to be the victim somehow.
All
But then
right.
he's going to
I
write
had no choice.
He's going to write the tell-all book. And he's going to go on the book tour. Listen, Matt Lauer, I was, you know.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
He's already done the interview where he does the thing about trying to make you feel bad for him. Like,
You know, I thought
I had no idea.
I could take part in the system and save these kids.
Yeah, that's the angle, by the way. That's always the play if you're caught up in this.
And he's going to have a New York Times bestseller. It's coming. It's happening.
Well, what I also think is that is always the play. If you're going to be if you want to get down in the mud, here you go. As a PR people, you say, now look here, man. They got your ass dead to rights. You're on the phone. I mean, I can't undo this. There's nothing I can do here. We got you. But here's your play. You didn't do that for your own personal financial gain. You did that to save children's lives. Kids that were born and raised in the ghetto. Kids that have nothing. And this is their only opportunity. And you see this as a chance to save their life and generations that follow.
I didn't have the power to change the system, but I think we all can. Now that this is out in the open, perhaps we can affect change, Meredith. And I appreciate your time.
Meredith is the best name that he could possibly say with that accident.
Hello, Meredith.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
TVs, you'll never miss a second of the action. Kick your week off with Monday Night Football, where you'll get 2-for-1 wells, calls, and drafts all night long. Then there's Tuesday Night Trivia with Professor Jimmy. Go win yourself some money. What about lunch? Weekdays, pick from over 20 menu items for just $7.50, including a drink. What you doing for Thursday Night Football? How about the fourth quarter, where you'll get $2.25 domestic drafts, $2.75 domestic bottles, and $4 Jaeger bombs. No weekend would be complete without Bubbles and Brunch. From 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., get all the mimosas and Bloody Marys you can drink and a breakfast for $18.99. Can you say Uber? Knowles, Bucks, Jags, or Finns, no matter who your favorite team is, take it to 2033 North Monroe Street and watch them at Tallahassee's favorite football hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill.
Monster Energy, welcome to Rockville. Florida's biggest rock experience has returned. April 27th, 28th, and 29th with over 50 bands, including Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age. Like the way you used to do. Welcome to Rockville, the biggest 3-day rock festival to ever hit Florida. April 27th to the 29th with Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age, Godsmack, Five Finger Death Punch, Breaking Benjamin, Stone Sour, Greta Van Fleet, plus the one and only Billy Idol. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all ticket, VIP, and festival information. Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, and so much more. Welcome to Rockville, fueled by Monster Energy Drink.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Seahawks with a key injury to their secondary. Last night's win at Arizona, corner Richard Sherman ruptured his right Achilles, is done for the season. Sherman has never missed a game in his 7-year NFL career. Patriots claiming tight end Martellus Bennett off waivers yesterday after he was let go by the Packers. Bennett was at New England's practice today. ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network report that Bennett has been playing with a torn rotator cuff and torn labrum. College football marquee matchup tomorrow night with 7th-ranked Miami hosting number 3 Notre Dame. ESPN's Reese Davis on the matchup.
I think they're peaking right now, long story short. I think Notre Dame, if you had to ask me player for player, unit for unit, whole thing, who's the better team, I think I'd go Notre Dame. But I think that Miami has momentum and is playing its best football at the right moment.
And you can watch Miami-Notre Dame tomorrow night on ABC at 8 Eastern. NBA Bucks head coach Jason Kidd says that point guard Eric Bledsoe will make his Milwaukee debut tonight when they visit San Antonio on ESPN at 9 Eastern. College basketball season tipping off. A pair of ranked teams going at it. West Virginia against Texas A&M. ESPN Radio, ESPN 6 Eastern.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
ESPN Radio. Hey, this is always fun. I like when we get an opportunity to do this. We do now, and we try to find these stories when we can. It's brought to you by Parker Brothers Roofing and Construction. Good guys, put a roof on my house, did a great job. If you would, cue it up.
Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm.
Yeah, we do a Shelter from the Storm fixed position feature, as it's known in the business, kids. And whenever we can find those kinds of uplifting stories in the sports world or sometimes out, I figure we need to go there because Lord knows on a daily basis we get enough bad news of how crappy human beings are to one another and others. Yeah, that's and other creatures, all that good stuff. We're generally fond of producing news that will leave you feeling a little crestfallen.
Football team's not great. Saturday or Sunday.
Oh man. Former Tampa Bay Lightning and current New Jersey Devils forward Brian Boyle, you guys remember him, was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia, a rare but treatable form of cancer. You know that story. The Devils team internist, Dr. Michael Farber, and medical director of executive health at Hackensack University Medical Center, said that Boyle's diagnosis came in the early stages of the disease. CML affects the bone marrow and is treated with oral medication. Early symptoms include fatigue, which Boyle originally attributed to moving his family north and raising 2 young children. Boyle wanted to play through the treatment and has, quote, "My wife and I, we've had a few long nights. Fortunately for us, the kids are young enough where they don't have to deal with questions and worrying. We're in a good place right now. The potential and what it could have been, what it turned out to be, this is positive news. We have a plan of attack here, and I'm looking forward to getting on the ice and playing." Boyle said he could deal with some side effects during treatment, but he expects to be on the ice for the regular season like usual. Now, that's the backstory. That was written before, obviously, this season started. He said about that, "I don't like missing games. It's just a thing you have to deal with, and that's for us to deal with," he said. Hopefully the season will go on as normal, as regular as possible. We don't have to be asking about it all the time. If I suck one night, it's because I suck, not because there are other reasons for it. If that's the biggest issue, then that's a good thing. Let's fast forward, shall we? Let's go ahead and do that. Last night, skating in his 5th game of the season, Boyle scored his first goal since beginning treatment. The game opening tally was as the Devils hosted Edmonton. Brian Boyle had this to say after his goal on MSG.
We did see some emotion in that celebration after the goal. What were the emotions?
Yeah, I've never cried after a goal before. And it's a lot. It's everything. It's everything I talked to Sal about before the game. These guys, you know, my wife, my kids, they've been through a lot too, and my parents, my siblings. It's a good feeling. Let's hope we stand up and make it count tonight.
Good on you, Brian Boyle. Congratulations. That is indeed a little shelter from the storm and an uplifting sidebar to a regular season hockey game, huh? But a pretty important one. Good on you, Brian Boyle. Best of luck moving forward. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV and get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Call or stop by Kraft Nissan today to see if the company you work for qualifies. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Don't throw that can away. You can make some extra cash by simply bringing it to the annual Cans for Cash event. In an ongoing effort to reduce waste and landfill space, the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful are teaming up again to host the Cans for Cash recycling event on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the outdoor living side of Home Depot parking lot at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast. Participants will receive 30 cents per pound for aluminum cans collected. Electronic scrap such as broken computers and TVs can also be brought for recycling as a courtesy. No payment will be provided for these items. Join the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Home Depot located at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast to cash in those cans. For more information about recycling and other city solid waste services, visit talgov.com/YOU or call 891-4968.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
How old were you when you stopped believing in the Tooth Fairy, Tom?
Well, I mean, you know, I had my doubts, and for any parents that heard that question, I'd say, you keep on believing, kids.
Yeah, like turn your radio down now if there are kids in the car during this engaged discussion about the Tooth Fairy, okay?
Now that all adults are listening, I'd say it was probably, 9, 10, somewhere
when you
in there.
finally said, yeah, I just think, because I'm thinking of the ones that Clark lost the tooth and we, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so
my wife goes all in, by the way. She folds it in a weird way and makes it look like an airplane and everything else, the dollar bill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Like a dollar bill origami almost.
Yeah. That's what she does.
So, it was a package deal without going into specifics. My discoveries were a package deal.
Oh, your older siblings?
It might have been 11.
Okay.
Maybe, but all I know for sure is that it was a package deal.
I miss believing in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was awesome because you would get so keyed up in the hopes to catch them.
So I figured out the big one, and then then the other things were Tooth Fairy.
Once that happens,
it was a domino effect.
Yeah, once that happens, once the big one falls,
right,
they all got to go.
Right.
Because those aren't even really all that believable to begin with. Like, first of all, rabbits and the eggs and, you know, like I was always suspect with that going, so there's a rabbit. There's an Easter bunny, is there? Yeah, I remember thinking that. I don't know. But once the big guy falls, there's everything's soon to follow.
Speaking in generalities for the parent who is not listening, they're just hearing the radio and the kid is wide-eyed in the backseat.
Yeah.
It all fell. And the big one I had noticed, and I've said this often, but the handwriting on the note for the thanks for the cookie
looked an awful lot
like somebody else's that may have raised me.
You're like, Mom.
Right.
Like, you got to try harder than this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even bother because mine is very distinct. So my wife does it up, and she so far out of character.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, it's smart. That's what you got to do. Yeah, especially when you've got engaged kids who pay attention closely to the world around them. Yeah, they pick up on that stuff.
Yeah, well, one of my doubts was heightened when I said I was going to mail.
And they were like,
certain parcel.
Why don't you give that to me?
Right. I said I was going to do it. No, it's my private conversation
with
is
Santa.
what I said. Yeah, with somebody. No, I don't know.
Yeah, my private conversation. No, let me have it. You must have did you get frustrated? You're like, I want to send this. What's the problem? Why can't I
No, they cornered me. I can remember exactly where I was. I was on the staircase in the kitchen of my old house. And
I also love that you were writing a note to him. Like you had something you had to say.
Well, I had something I wanted to say, and I had suspicions. I didn't want anybody else to, listen, it's like doctor-patient privilege.
I do love that you're suspicious. You're like, I don't know about all this. I'm going to send off this note. Let's see what becomes of it.
You're right, yeah. Because I wanted to put something in there that was specific to the note itself.
Right. That would reprove it. Then you'd be like, all right, good.
As I recall, I was smart enough to think let's make it something small, like a specific action figure that would only cost $5 to $10.
Right.
So even my subconscious knew what was going on. I didn't ask. The Nintendo 64 it wasn't that thing that I was going to neglect on the list
Well,
and share.
I told you that I get in trouble every year at that special time because I don't like for that guy to get all the credit when I'm the dude out there doing things. And so I'm such a jerk. But I also forget. I forget the designation.
Right.
So a week after it's over, they're playing with the thing, and I'm like, yeah, having some fun with that one, are you? And they're like, yeah. And then they'll go, they don't say thank you or anything, and I'll go, yeah, how about your old dad? And then my wife will go, or Santa, honey. Santa. Oh, that's right, Santa. I forgot.
Yeah, I think we can speak openly now. Hopefully all the kids, I mean, come on. We gave you like 5 freaking warnings here.
Yeah, I do that, though. I'll be like, oh, that's right, Santa got you that, didn't he?
Yeah.
That Santa's a hell of a guy.
My parents did the old, designation between wrapped and unwrapped.
Wrapped and
so
unwrapped
therefore
is the
they
way
could
to
take
go.
credit for some big things.
Yeah, well, me too. And last year when they were in bed and we were getting the situation ready to go,
yeah,
Christy goes, well, we got to wrap that one. That's from, the big guy. I'm like, that's nonsense. That thing right there wasn't cheap. That's staying out. That's from me. That's from She's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's about them, not you getting credit.
God. Man,
She's right.
I got to say, I really hope, honest moment,
yeah,
that, like an 11-year-old hasn't fallen in love with the Cameron Show and,
well,
listens to us on demand.
What do you want me to do?
Because keep on trucking. Maybe, I think we're wrong. In fact, I do. Perhaps we're lying to you. Maybe it's a trick to test your belief, young person. That's right.
Well, I think that's accurate. I think that's
Stay
right.
the course.
Why don't we go somewhere else like Bobby Wagner telling the NFL to go to hell for these Thursday night football games. Quote, you see guys dropping down on both sides with serious injuries. We play a very physical game. It's a physical sport. To ask us to turn around and be ready after Sunday to play on a Thursday, it's tough for all of us. I hope the league is watching, looks and sees what happens, and changes the format. If you're going to get a Thursday night game, give us a little bit more time, please. Maybe give it a bye week before the Thursday night game. That's my opinion on this. It has been all along. Doug Baldwin said about the game last night, it should be illegal. And, Sherman once called the aforementioned Richard Sherman, who blew out his Achilles last night in the Thursday night football game, which may or may not have had anything to do with being played on a Thursday night. Don't know. But he did say at one time that Thursday night football was nothing more than a quote-unquote poop fest. He described Thursday night football games, and I'm quoting, as a poop fest.
Well, if in this definition, poop equals $450 million per season, because that's what CBS and NBC are splitting over the course of 2 years.
They don't often get real good games, though.
$900 million to the NFL for 2 years of these rights.
Unbelievable. Wouldn't you put that? I think it's a little bit like what college coaches and their agents have been able to do to universities and university presidents and athletic directors and demanding all of these things. And it's across the board. This isn't specifically a side shot at Jimbo or anybody else for that matter. But this is how the game is played. And they get these guys feeling like they have no choice. And they cave to these demands, and you roll your eyes. Eventually, it comes up again, like it has some this year, where you go, "What? Why did we do that? Why did we get that second extent? What was that about?"
Well, the thing is, and this is where I think the PA might want to cave, is if you instituted a second bye week and then you retain 20 home games, 2 preseason, 18 regular season games, then you could schedule these Thursday night, and everybody wins, and the NFL gets a better product on Thursday nights. The players get 2 bye weeks. I mean, it's the best of all worlds.
I've been a big proponent of the 2 bye week thing, and if you're going to have to play a Thursday night football game, fine. It's a little bit like that situation where you send people to London. I'm always rolling my eyes at. But if you want to play these Thursday night games because there's money in it for everybody involved, then fine. Just do the extra bye and make sure everybody's on full rest when they play their Thursday night game. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. And then that way you won't be talking about a quote-unquote poop fest.
Right, yeah, exactly right.
Not a poop
Man, the one scheduling quirk that I couldn't believe this year, beyond the obvious ones like London and Thursday nights, was that the Patriots started the season on Thursday and the Saints did on Monday, the following Monday, and then they played each other in week 2.
That's so cold.
That's BS, man.
Brutal. And the Saints got their doors blown
Oh,
off.
they did?
Yeah.
Last time they have.
Yeah. I imagine they were slightly angry about that. I should go back to that week of the game and afterwards, just find the quotes in the Times-Picayune or something where they're talking about, like, man, the league just bent us over there, guys. I think we all know
Well,
the deal.
you'd have to go to timespicayune.com, and then
because
you'd have to answer 7 survey questions to be able to view those quotes.
Oh, the frustration. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Each vehicle and a rating by Car Guru showing you the price is a good deal. FranksAutoWorld.com.
This is a court-ordered notice. Current and former Honda and Nissan owners or lessees can receive payments and other benefits from a legal settlement related to allegedly defective Takata airbags in their vehicles. To see if your vehicle is included and to file a claim, go to AutoAirbagSettlement.com or call 1-888-735-5596. That's AutoAirbagSettlement.com or 1-888-735-5596.
Landowners, Mahindra's inventory clearance sale is going on now. We're reducing prices like never before on the toughest tractors on earth. Like a Mahindra Emax 22 as low as $99 a month or up to $8,100 in cash back and savings. Only from Mahindra.
North Florida and South Georgia's authorized Mahindra dealer is TNT Super Center, US 19 South in Thomasville, and at TNTSuperCenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Ryder. The Seahawks with a key injury to their secondary. Last night's win at Arizona, corner Richard Sherman ruptured his right Achilles, is done for the season. Sherman has never missed a game in his 7-year NFL career. Patriots claiming tight end Martellus Bennett off waivers yesterday after he was let go by the Packers. Bennett was at New England's practice today. ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network report that Bennett has been playing with a torn rotator cuff and torn labrum. College football marquee matchup tomorrow night with 7th-ranked Miami hosting number 3 Notre Dame. ESPN's Reese Davis on the matchup.
I think they're peaking right now, long story short. I think Notre Dame, if you had to ask me player for player, unit for unit, whole thing, who's the better team, I think I'd go Notre Dame. But I think that Miami has momentum and is playing its best football at the right moment.
And you can watch Miami Notre Dame tomorrow night on ABC at 8 Eastern. NBA Bucks head coach Jason Kidd says that point guard Eric Bledsoe will make his Milwaukee debut tonight when they visit San Antonio on ESPN at 9 Eastern. College basketball season tipping off. A pair of ranked teams going at it. West Virginia against Texas A&M. ESPN Radio, ESPN 6 Eastern.
Experience why for nearly a century men have trusted Barbasol for a close, comfortable shave. Whether it's extra moisturizing with vitamin E or soothing aloe, all you have to do is sit back and bask in the glory of your close shave. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week. Happy Libations Friday. Good on you, veterans. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. You can email us if you like, JCS at 979ESPNRadio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app goes for your mobile devices, all of them. And you can watch us perform our duties as radio hosts on ESPN Tallahassee, the YouTube channel. Woohoo! Yeah, thanks for your service to all the veterans. Clemson has won 39 of its last 42 games, dating back to 2014. The Tigers have won 23 of their last 25 against the ACC, 13 of 14 away from home in the ACC. They're 14-1 at night over the last 2 years. This is a day game. They've won 27 of their last 28 and 44 of their last 47 at home. So this is a sizable mountain to climb this weekend, Tom. And for that, I think we should maybe have a moment, maybe where we listen to the entirety of the clip. If you remember, the origins of this began on this night in a game against Virginia Tech.
Manuel underneath. Green, first down and more. Green on the run. Green may go to the house. Rashad Green, touchdown, Florida State.
Suck it, Clemson!
Just mentioned a moment ago that Florida State was going to have to make a catch and run. All of the opportunities Virginia Tech's defense was providing them was underneath, over the middle of the field. E.J. Manuel finds his true sophomore receiver who's made some giant plays tonight.
Yeah, so that's a perturbed Jesse Palmer. That's a host being less than professional in the moment, not realizing my box was near their box, and they could hear it.
Suck it, Clemson!
So, and people to this day get it confused, Tom. They want to know why would I say suck it, Clemson, when it was a touchdown against Virginia Tech? Because it secured our division title and made it so that Clemson could not win the Atlantic.
That's correct.
And so that's where that comes from. However, since that time, we went on to do greater things than just win a division title. We went on to win a national championship. So, too, has Clemson. And that time and this time originates way back then for our Suck at Clemson moment. What I don't like, however, is that the time spent since 2015 to now sees Clemson at 10-1 against top 15 opponents.
Bend over.
10-1?
Bend over.
This is a stretch of games that, my goodness gracious, man, has been something. I hate recognizing that Jimbo Fisher currently has a winning record against Clemson. He's 4-3. He'll be 4-4 after this one. It will now be 500 against Clemson. They will have won 3 straight over him in this Florida State football program. And Dabo Swinney has since surpassed Jimbo Fisher in the meaningful numbers of wins over the last 5 years and everything else.
Bend over.
Yeah. So we have got to get back to the getting. where this isn't a afterthought of a contest. This isn't just okay, go wear our ass beaten, let's move it along. Now, for many years, and I suppose I took it for granted, this was a stretch in a series in which Florida State so ruled Clemson, it was an afterthought for us regarding them. And to remind everybody just what it is, Florida State is 20-10 in the series against Clemson. And that's with, losses lately. 20-10, it has been a lopsided situation. The home team in this series has won 12 of the last 15 times. This will be 13 out of 16.
Yeah, I can recall, obviously, some of the obvious examples where Clemson's come down here to Tallahassee won, last year being one of those where the clip and call was, you want proof that there's momentum in college football? There it is, right there. The momentum that Florida State and Dalvin Cook had in that moment that they called a clip on Thunder Freddie Stevenson.
Yeah.
And Thunder Freddie Stevenson could never be guilty of a clip, and so that's why I'm even more disappointed in ACC officials. Don't you know anything about Thunder? Thunder does things the right way.
And he damn sure did there.
And he damn sure did there. But then there's the obvious example of Florida State's victory up in Death Valley that I don't want to keep clinging to. Please, let's have another reason.
Right? Yeah, it feels frustrating, doesn't it?
It's the equity of the Super Bowl in Tampa finally wearing off about 8-10 years later. The equity of the 2013 win against Clemson, the stomping that it was, can only take us so far into the future.
Well, last year's 37-34 game that we're alluding to is still so frustrating to me because Florida State played a great game. It was listen, that Clemson had to score in the fourth quarter, and actually, what'd they go, 17-6 in the fourth quarter?
There's a big play. I think Leggett scored the ultimate game-winning touchdown.
Jordan Leggett had 122 yards in that game a year ago.
And that was after we had lost a safety to a targeting call. So, tough times for the secondary down the stretch there. And the weird part about that game was Clemson's beginning to the game offensively. It looked like
they go right down the field. Boom, 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 boom.
It was kind of like the way Oklahoma-Texas played out this year, where you think, oh, good Lord, they're going to hang a 50 on Florida State here tonight. We don't have a prayer. But then we fight all the way back, and Dalvin decides to just go freaking crazy on it.
Well, the hardest part about the game, Tom, is not just do you fight all the way back. You actually are in the midst of beating Clemson's ass. That game is this close to going in a wrong direction for Clemson, meaning a lopsided direction. I thought Florida State was on the cusp of blowing Clemson out. The second and third quarters combined saw Florida State outscore Clemson in that game 28-6. 28-6. I mean, this was total domination for two quarters after a shaky start to the game, and they're on the cusp of being blown out, if not for an ejection and a terrible call. Now, you give Clemson credit because when afforded the opportunity in the fourth quarter, they end up putting it on us. And Deshaun Watson completes 27 of 43 for almost 400 yards, 2 scores. He ran for 52 more. They ended up having, if I remember looking at that box score this morning correctly, over 511 yards is what I think it was. So that was a game that was really weird because it's a tale of two different games. It's a first quarter and a fourth quarter dominated by Clemson. It's a second quarter and a third quarter dominated by Florida State. And you talk about disparate. I mean, that they look literally like two different games. They're bookended. It's bizarre.
Correct. Yeah, it's like a book cover. Clemson's the cover, and we're the pages. And but it was 35-6. Man, listen, Dalvin didn't score on that play, but we're about to go in. Everybody knows what the hell's about to happen there.
Well, that's going to be the game.
You know, there are tough officiating moments in Florida State history, many of them.
Everybody has it, though, yeah.
But that's the one to me. I mean, just because it embodies momentum of a game turning.
Well, it's crazy. Clemson, I went – it's funny. I joke about this. I was up in the Champions Club for that game.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying my Champions Club experience because the game itself started so wretchedly that I stood up, walked, and got a Cigar City High Life. I drank that Cigar City High Life and ordered another so that I could take it to my seat.
Yeah, I actually have audio of you in the Champions Club having a cup of coffee before the game started.
Yes, this is me right here at the Champions Club early in the process.
Wait a minute. You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee. I can't tell you how many cups of coffee in my life, and this is one of the best.
That's true. I was in a rare place there. I was in rare form.
You felt good about the upset.
I felt very good. And, It's true, as I told that young lady. I can't tell you how many cups of coffee in my life. I've had several today, for example. So they just all add up. It's part of my daily routine. And I was feeling especially good on that afternoon as it bled into the night, and we began the game itself. And then the game started, and I didn't feel so good. And then I did, because the route was about to be on, and before those calls and that ejection led to a fourth quarter that hurt. Now, you take it back further to the last time we were at Clemson. That game, too, hurt in 2015, 23-13, because that's a game where the Tigers have to come from behind in the second half yet again. We led 10-6 at the half. The Dalvin Cook touchdown from 75 yards to start the game. And,
correct, yeah.
By the way, there was a penalty not called there. Once again, it's one of the many times that he's been horse-collared in his time at Florida State, or his time at Florida State, that they never call. You ever think about that? I don't think anybody got horse-collared more in their life than Dalvin Cook did when he was at Florida State.
Well, there's more than just that. This past weekend, we had a horse collar that wasn't assessed on the kickoff when Cam Akers scored a touchdown.
Yeah. Man, just because you can't chase our running backs down, we got to stop with the nonsense, and we got to call the damn horse collar when you see it.
No, you should be up 13-17 in that first half. It's the pick that McGuire throws.
Yeah, that really hurt.
And then you're stopped, man. That play, it was the 3rd and goal, I think it was. It's just so damn close in the second quarter. And, as Jimbo likes to say, you're inches away. But in that game, there was a razor-thin margin. Then you get stopped on the 4th and 1. In the second half, I believe it was Boulware who comes up and makes a play and trips up Dalvin.
And Shaq Lawson was in on that play, too.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating aspect, because it's 13-13 going into that fourth quarter, and you've left some points on the table, and it turns out you get outscored in that game in the fourth quarter 10-0. The last two games against Clemson in the fourth quarter have been a nightmare. We're outscored 17-6 and 10-0. 27-6 in the two fourth quarter games in back-to-back years combination is not a good one. Especially when you're on even footing and plays are there to be made, and they just simply haven't been. And Clemson is the one that answers the bell in these moments. And that's, to me, very, very frustrating. And now you're in a game like we've talked about before, where you've got, Farrell and Huggins and Joseph and Lamar and Lawrence, and it's going to be tough sledding.
What do you make of Lee Sterling's comment last hour? I found it interesting, and I think there's a little bit of validity to it, but that in the flow of the game, Syracuse had moments where it played better than Florida State. And in fact, I think he said Syracuse just outright played better than Florida State, and that we hit our big plays.
Well, yeah, Cam had two,
Right, and then you had the big touchdown to Nooney.
Yeah, the long throw, which is beautiful. It was a beautiful throw.
That had to happen, man.
Yeah.
You had to jump out to a lead to have a prayer last week.
Yeah, and it was nice to see. I thought it was evenly played at times. That's what Syracuse does. They amass a ton of yards and they don't score a ton of points. If you look at them statistically speaking, they do that against everybody. They amass a ton of yards and they don't score a ton of points.
Yeah, if you look at the 400 and whatever yards total that they ran 95 plays, that's actually a decent performance turned in by the defense.
Right, and the fact that you're relying on it at the end of the game is kind of surprising, but,
Well, I mean, listen, yeah, they give up a couple of long third downs and the kick is from makeable range, but make no mistake, by that point, they're gassed. It's 95 bleeping plays. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I actually...
That's why when we had to give them the ball back, I was like, well, they're hitting their target number. Where at that point, it was in the upper 80s.
Well, and I also thought, the ability to... The sack that he took was devastating. And the defense had to make a play to get that clock running, and it worked in our favor in that. That's how you do an end-of-game scenario. I mean, grant you, they have a makeable field goal on their foot, but... I mean, that's when you're gassed like that and tackling people inbounds and getting to a quarterback. I mean, that's kind of how you do it. That's the ideal situation for a defense that has been gashed time and again and rightfully ripped because of it. I actually thought they held up pretty well there.
I know that he has been largely inconsistent in the pass rush game, and I get it, but he's been really, really close the last 2 weeks to having, absolutely
monstrous
games. Josh Sweat has to be big tomorrow. He's got to be, because if the interior can hold up, as we know it can, if it's healthy and ready to go, and I don't think there's anything wrong with Nadi or Christmas.
No.
And you can get something from him.
Your only hope is on defense.
I can't count on 99 right now. I can't count on 99. No. I don't care if he's covered. Everybody's talking this week, well, why is he out in coverage? Man, he ain't doing anything rushing the passer either. So, I'm sorry. I don't care about that right now.
Right.
But Josh Sweat has been close to having one of those games, a
Well, he had a
DeMarcus
really-
Walker type game.
Well, and if you look, you go back, the Pro Football Focus numbers from this last game, he had one of the best games in the country for any defensive end.
Yes, but I'm talking about with the sacks
You're
to
talking
go
about
with,
getting-
2.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. I mean, DeMarcus had some jaw-dropping games when you go back and look at the defensive sheet, and Josh was right around the ball all day long last week.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of hope, but the hope does lie with this defense. It makes people uneasy. I think Clemson's really good, and if they put it all together on Saturday, I'm really, really concerned. I don't know that we can come back from that. I just think they're that good, and they play hard. They play smart. They don't throw the ball down the field real well, so that's what you're going to have to force them to do. Win first down, win second down. Try to get him throwing the ball 15 yards or more down the field consistently. That's where he's struggled with accuracy.
That anger that Cam brings to the table, and Stanford Samuels and Taylor.
I love the youth here, yeah.
Maybe you get an inspired Derwin, and I'm not trying to say that Derwin's making business decisions because I don't believe he is. I just believe we're scheming him to be in places where he's not making immediate impacts on the television screen. But if you can get that type of passion and you can put up 3 or 10 points before Clemson really gets going offensively, you got to fight, man. You got a chance in this game, but I can't see us touching 27-30.
Two things here. Hunter Renfrow last year, 5 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Deion Kane last year, just 2 catches, but for 70 yards and a touchdown. One of them a 56-yarder. These guys both playing in the game tomorrow. You got to cover, guys.
Yeah, the guy I'm
Seems
worried
simple.
about is Renfrow, and it's not because he's a white kid. It's because the slot receiver has been a problem in key moments of games. So I don't know who's going to be playing slot in those big moments, but there's no doubt the offense does scheme up to work over the middle of the field. They did with Leggett, too, last year when they need to make a play. So whoever's slot corner tomorrow, if we're playing man in 3rd and long situations, man, you got to step up.
Yeah, I solely worry about Hunter Renfrow because he's white. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the makers of the toughest utility vehicles on Earth, can give you the best year-end deal on Earth. So let us show you how to get tax savings on your new Mahindra XTV. And get cash back and savings up to $2,500 on select clearance models. Plus, get a free roof and Mahindra's 3-year warranty.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
In Rhode Island. Rebate given at the register in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Miami-Dade County, Florida. See store or jcp.com for details.
Staples knows you can't afford to have your business slow down over the holidays. New customers aren't delivered down your chimney. You won't find new accounts in your stocking. No, just because it's the holidays doesn't mean you can stop marketing your company. So promote your business with eye-catching print materials like presentations, brochures, postcards, and promotional products from Staples. And now save 20% off print and marketing services orders of $50 or more. Sounds like you got at least one thing on your holiday list. Staples. It's pro time. Exclusions apply. Ends 12/2/17.
Light up your entire home for the holidays without spending the entire day on the ladder. The Home Depot has over 25 different styles of festive projection lighting, each just $15. Stick one in the yard and light up your home without any untangling, balancing, or stretching. Together, we'll make a brighter Christmas easier with your choice of projection lighting, just $15. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Offer valid November 9th through 15th. Limit 3 per customer. See store for details.
Don't throw that can away. You can make some extra cash by simply bringing it to the annual Cans for Cash event. In an ongoing effort to reduce waste and landfill space, the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful are teaming up again to host the Cans for Cash recycling event on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the outdoor living side of Home Depot parking lot at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast. Participants will receive 30 cents per pound for aluminum cans collected. Electronic scrap such as broken computers and TVs can also be brought for recycling as a courtesy. No payment will be provided for these items. Join the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Home Depot located at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast to cash in those cans. For more information about recycling and other city solid waste services, visit talgov.com/YOU or call 891-4968.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Libations Friday means it's time for me to beat Mom in picks. I like this tradition. It's better than last year's tradition, which was me not beating Mom in picks nearly as often as I needed to, and then eventually losing the whole thing to her for the first time ever, which is unacceptable. Go ahead, cue it up, Tom. Let's make this thing happen.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, Mama, you're down 6. I won our only game difference from last weekend, which was Oakland over Miami. So you're going to have to get crack-a-lackin' here.
I know it. I tell you what, I have fallen by the wayside. I don't know what has happened. It was very good there for a while, but I tell you, these games, I know we spoke about it, but it seems like one week, you pick this team and they do pretty good, and then the next week they look like they don't know how to play, and it's really it's kind of hard to figure out which team is going to show up.
Well, that is also why.
No wonder Fat Peter got paid the big bucks.
Oh boy! No, you beat Fat Peter every year.
I know I did, but listen, I don't know about this year if we were picking.
I haven't followed Fat Peter's picks in years. When you beat him back-to-back years, I said, I'm done with Fat Peter.
I know.
Well, 3 years in a row,
you know what? I don't ever even see anything about Peter King.
Yeah, he still writes for SI. He writes a column every week.
Does he? Oh,
yeah,
well.
He has an NFL kind of Sunday or Monday column that he writes. What the hell is it called, Tom?
The Monday Morning Quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a website.
Yeah, it's a website. But he's actually taken a step back and allows others to write on that website. So it's proprietary. He's just chilling. Yeah, he's just loving life.
Okay. Yeah, well, there you go. Nobody knows how bad I beat him those years.
Well, back to back to back. I do. We retired Peter. We were like, we're done with you. My mom's steady kicking your ass. This is ridiculous.
Lordy. Well,
all right, so listen.
Year,
we both had Seattle, Mom, last night, and we got by. Ugly game, as most of these Thursday night games are. 22-16 over Arizona.
I think they should just get rid of him.
I agree with you. Oh. I love the disdain in your voice there. You're like, terrible. It's ridiculous.
Know.
Yeah. No,
well,
I agree.
You know how I love football. I love it, and I love to watch it. But when I flip off the game and go, oh no, I got to find something else, it's bad because I'll watch almost anything.
You do. You watch bad football all the time. Every week when you watch the Bucks.
Oh my Lord, I know it. I know my poor beleaguered Bucks. I'm telling you, I had such hope this year, and it's just gone down the tubes.
But now you can do something else with your Sundays. It's all right.
I know. Well, there's another game on so I kind of sort of, but I don't get as involved in those games.
You can watch just as an interested observer, but not as a fan, and it doesn't really matter, right?
That's right. Yeah. I don't get nervous. My stomach doesn't get in knots, and so yeah. One of these days, I don't know. We'll be back one of these days. I think we're going to have to maybe change coaches, and I don't know what else. We say that every time, though. Somebody was so funny on one of the websites. somebody said, oh, they just need a clean house. They need to get rid of, all the coaches and this and that. And then somebody down a couple of lines ago, but that's what we do every year.
Every 2 years or so. Every 2 years.
Yeah, they're like, I'm tired of getting rid of everybody and changing things. And it just made me laugh because I was like, yeah, you're right. That is what we do every couple of years.
When you make poor hires, you have to constantly reassess where you're at. Look, for years, for example, Mom, Detroit, when Millen was there as the GM, would draft a wide receiver, and then that receiver would suck or be a drunk or be out of the league within a year or two. And every year the draft would roll around, and you'd hear the analysts say, well, what is Detroit going to do? And they'd say, well, they got to get a receiver. They just are really struggling to find a receiver. And they would talk about, well, they've drafted one in the first round 3 of the last 4 years. And the person rightfully said, and they still need one. Just because you whiff doesn't mean that you don't need something. So when you whiff, you need something. We've made some poor decisions in hiring coaches, and they haven't worked out.
It's the curse of John Gruden. I'm telling you. Since we let him go.
We agree on this.
Oh, my Lord. It has been downhill ever since.
You may recall a certain family argument one time in which your son, the smarter of the sons, said, the one you're talking to now, to the other son who wanted to get rid of Gruden, you're nuts. You don't fire Gruden. That's crazy. We have to fire Gruden. Time's up. I'm tired of him not developing quarterbacks. We've got to move on. Well, there you go.
There you go. No, I was on your side in that argument, and so was most of the rest of the family. I don't know. That oldest son that we're speaking of must have been drinking that night or something.
He must have been heavily drinking for weeks on end because that's ridiculous. All right, here we go, Mom. Let's get to these games.
All right.
New Orleans at Buffalo.
Yeah, New Orleans at Buffalo. Oh, I didn't know that was going to be the first one out of the chute. I've got New Orleans.
I do, too. You don't have to look at your sheet.
I do, though, because sometimes when I make these picks, when I'm really thinking about it, I have a method to my madness. And then now when we pick them, I'm thinking, I may make a mistake on who I wanted to pick.
You know what's interesting? I'm picking New Orleans because of their defense.
Yeah, how about that?
I don't think Buffalo's going to move the ball. I never thought I'd say that. It's less about New Orleans offense and more about the defense.
Yeah.
Green Bay against Chicago.
I know. Now this, Chicago's terrible, and Green Bay's terrible without my wonderful
Aaron,
yes, Rodgers.
So wonderful you can't remember his name.
I know. Well, he's been out for several weeks now.
Out of sight, out of mind, Aaron.
I know, but I took Green Bay.
Well, you're wrong. I'm taking Chicago, so that's good. Here we go, Bears. Get it done. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Cleveland at Detroit.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit. Speaking of Detroit.
Pittsburgh's at Indianapolis.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
The Chargers are at Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville.
Me too. The Jets at the Bucks.
Yeah, now, this hurts my heart, but I am taking the Jets.
Me too. Cincinnati's at Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Minnesota's at Washington.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard game, I think. I'm taking Washington, though.
I'm going to take Minnesota on the road, Mama. I'm going to take Minnesota.
Okay, I think that could be a good pick. Isn't Teddy Bridgewater the backup quarterback this week?
They activated him. That's right. He is.
I'm so happy for him. I hope he's going to – I don't care if necessarily he plays this week, but I really hope he's going to come back and be fine because that was a horrific injury.
Yes, devastating. I hope he does, too.
I really like him.
I do, too. Houston's at Los Angeles. My Rams just continue to roll.
I know. I've got the Rams.
Yeah, well, you have to now. They just win every week because they have a good young coach.
Yeah, I know.
Dallas is at Atlanta.
I don't think we can get him, though.
No. I'd offer him the world right now, but Dallas is at Atlanta.
I'm taking Dallas.
I am, too. The Giants are at San Francisco.
Yeah, you got to take the Giants, even though they're both terrible.
Mm-hmm. New England's at Denver.
Yeah, I'm taking New England because I'm for Denver. They've just gone in the toilet.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback. And Miami's at Carolina.
Yeah, I've got Carolina.
Yeah, me too. All right, so we only have two different. That's all of them, right? I got all the games there. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So you've got Chicago, and I've got Green Bay, and you've got Minnesota, and I've got Washington.
Yeah, and I'm actually really torn on that game. I've been a flipper-flopper.
Yeah.
I've been flippy-floppy on that game. I had earlier in the day when I was looking at my picks, I had Washington, and then just now while we were making the picks, I thought, I'll go with Minnesota. I kind of feel bad about that. I wish I had taken Washington.
That would be good if we split. Then I wouldn't be down anymore. anymore.
Yeah. Love you, Mama. I'll see you tomorrow.
Love you too. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, looking forward to it. Bye-bye. Bye. There it is. Yeah. No, I'm flippy-floppy on that pick. I really feel like that's a game that could go either way. My fear is this. I think Minnesota is probably long-term a better team. Washington will play incredibly desperate at home at 4-4. Their season's sort of hanging in the balance, and I think they'll play hard.
Yeah, that matters. You know, we talk about college football and kids, their emotions are, well, in the NFL, there's an urgency factor. It's not necessarily emotions. It's about the urgency in your season.
We've got to win this damn game.
Right.
Yeah.
Either that or we're,
not going to the playoffs.
Picking 14th.
Right. And I do think they'll play with that sense of urgency this weekend in Washington. Washington's one of the few places, and I don't know if it bears out. I'd have to look at the statistics, and I have not been to the new stadium. I went to the old RFK, which was really cool. The old stadium that was, it used to actually literally shake. Well,
they're still in RFK, aren't they?
I don't think they got a new stadium. I mean, Dan Snyder built a new stadium. Not where Theismann played, buddy. They're not where they were back in the old days. That is, I mean, they may be called RFK, but I'm sure that's not the same stadium. It can't be. Remember, he charged so much money for people to go to practice and to do all that stuff. I thought during that time he renovated everything and either changed that stadium greatly or built a brand new one. Surely they're not still the stadium of yesteryear.
No. Okay, so it opened in 1997.
Yeah, the new one has been around
FedEx Field.
Forever. Yeah.
Okay.
No. RFK is. I'm talking about the Hogs back in the day.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's you might not have been around.
No, but see, they've been in the same stadium for basically my entire football life, which is why I thought it was.
Yeah, no, the old one, Tom, the back in the day, literally, they'd go so crazy there, and they'd sing their songs, and the stadium would shake. It was cool. And I never cared about Washington as much, but I always thought that was pretty cool. That said, I think Washington will play hard, and here I am picking Minnesota. You're all right with me picking Minnesota? You think they're going to win?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Man, that's a true NFL football game. Flip the coin.
Case Keenum has turned out to be decent.
He has been
He's
decent.
Just decent.
Ever since his days in Houston.
Yeah, he's just decent, you know?
With the Cougars.
Well, you probably have a soft spot in your heart
do,
for Case
very much
Keenum.
so.
We'll come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Landowners, only Mahindra, the world's #1 selling tractor, can give you the #1 year-end deal. Let us show you how to get tax savings on the toughest tractors on earth and get up to $7,400 in discounts along with Mahindra's 7-year warranty. Plus, get an Emax 22 with mid-mower for just $134 a month.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing
a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
You are now off the couch and out exploring the world.
Roger that.
Get charged up for what's coming next anytime, anywhere with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like mango lime, raspberry citrus, midnight grape, and orange citrus. Mountain Dew Kickstart. Fuel with flavor.
The 2017 North Florida Fair, November 2nd through the 12th, has something for everyone. Exhilarating rides, fun games, mouth-watering food, and much more. For more details, visit northfloridafair.com and join us November 2nd through the 12th.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833, the number 4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833, the number 4, Dr. DeLay.
Proof Brewing Company is Tallahassee's first and largest production craft brewery since 2012. They are locally owned and operated inside Railroad Square Art Park. Visit Proof's expansive brewery, outdoor beer garden, and tasting room with live music on Friday evenings. Proof Brewing Company's award-winning beers 850 and Mango Wit are now available in 6-pack cans. Follow Proof Brewing Company on Facebook or visit online at proofbrewingco.com for more info. Proof Brewing Company reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Milwaukee's special promotions going on right now at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Purchase an M18 Fuel 2-tool combo kit and receive your choice free. M18 Fuel 4.5 to 5-inch grinder, 7 1/4-inch circular saw, or M18 Fuel Sawzall. Also check out the Milwaukee accessory add-on promotions. Buy Milwaukee Sawzall blades and use e-rebates to get a 30-ounce stainless tumbler, pack-out toolbox, or M12 hacksaw kit. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. 2 locations, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is a family-friendly restaurant serving high-quality fresh seafood at a great value since 1986. Wharf Casual Seafood's philosophy is that seafood can be affordable, fast, and top-notch quality all at the same time. No one brings families together like Wharf Casual Seafood. Visit their Tallahassee locations on Bannerman Crossing and the newly opened Mahan location at the Costco shopping area. Open 7 days a week. Visit wharfcasualseafood.com for more information or to order online. No need to drive when the coast is here.
It's that time of year again where you have to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Super Lube it and get rewarded with a free oil change. Right now, visit any of the 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes, and get 1 free. Keep it or give that free oil change to a car lover on your list. Hurry in and make shopping easy with a free oil change from Super Lube. You'll be glad you did.
They change my oil in just 10 minutes. Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to super lube my car, lube my car. How I love to super lube my car. Yes, sir.
No fans, ESPN Tallahassee's official home for FSU watch parties in 2017 is Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Francois to throw for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Seminoles are going for the win.
The ESPN Tallahassee team will be on hand for every Seminole away football game with giveaways, a chance to win some great prizes, and to have a good time.
To the pylon. He's into the end zone for an FSU touchdown.
So, when the Noles hit the road, join us at Miller's Ale House on the Parkway, the official FSU watch party headquarters of your home of the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Authority. Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Tom.
What was that?
Ordinarily. For people that didn't hear the segment, they're like, Jeff, good Lord, it's ordinary. Or ordinarily. Nordinarily, Tom, that music makes me smile as it's checking out time and about to enjoy the weekend and look forward to football. But, you know, there is a sense of dread.
The darkness is creeping towards you.
Glad it's not an 8 o'clock game.
The darkness is creeping towards you.
Glad it's not prime time for everybody to lock and load and sit down and watch old Florida State get kicked upside the head.
Don't worry. We can just transfer money from your account into a portfolio with your son, and it's gone.
Never gets old. Never, ever gets old. One more time, just to make me smile.
Don't worry. We can just transfer money from your account into a portfolio with your son, and it's gone.
Do you think they sat in the studio laughing hysterically?
I think they do often, but the one thing that I really appreciate about them that I think most good artists, you know, in whatever concentration, they hate their work when it first comes out.
Yeah.
They do it. They go, well, this is just
This
complete
is not
bleep.
good. Yeah.
And now there's a lot of America that would agree. Most of South Park is crap, but the statements it makes, the satire, and the way they deliver it is, I mean, it's 20 years great now.
That's brilliant.
It's going on 21 years old.
That's hard to imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. No, I don't think I've ever sat down to watch South Park and not laughed. Like, I've never seen an episode where I failed to laugh. There aren't too many shows you can say that about.
That's where it and The Simpsons are on the same plateau.
Yeah.
Because even if The Simpsons episode is stupid, there's at least 2 or 3 one-liners where you go,
Really
oh,
good. Yeah. Well
wow.
done. Well,
Either
smart.
aggressive
Yeah.
or intelligently funny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's real smart. And so usually, yeah. And I love that moment where you pause and go, did they just... Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
That
Yeah.
just happened. Well done, guys. Yeah. No. I don't think I've ever not laughed. You're right. All right. Here we go. Let's do What's on Tap.
Ready for a cold one? Proof Brewing Company in Railroad Square Art Park presents What's on Tap. So, Jeff, what'll it be?
Well, we got a good slate here this weekend, guys. That's what it's going to be. It's a lot of football and a lot of nice weather and a lot of sitting outside watching football in said nice weather with a tall, cold one. So I am going to pick any number of college games. I'm not going to settle in on just the one, Tom. Yes, of course, I will be watching ours, and of course I'll be watching Notre Dame and Miami 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll be watching, I don't know, about 10 different games.
Boy, I can't wait to see Purdue Northwestern at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
Should be a doozy.
Now, the funny thing is you kind of will have interest in that game.
I will watch it.
I have less than zero.
Yeah. No. Good movie. I will be
True.
watching. I will be watching. I like it. And I will be, well, you know, this depends on whether or not I'm at a place that has multiple televisions going at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm just at the crib, that won't make the game. That won't make the game watching, you know, my iPad Pro, the big screen, computer, laptop,
Right, yeah.
other TV, you know, when you got them all going like a boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that one, Purdue Northwestern, ain't going to be there, you know. So if anybody were to walk in and go, Cameron, why is the iPad Pro on get it together, Cameron, Purdue Northwestern?
Yeah, for me, we have 2 primary devices. The one is the crystal clear 60-inch television. Then we have the Mac, the actual Mac desktop, which is nice. Yes, it is.
Yeah, jinx.
About 20 inches, so a nice little television there. But then you have to break out the iPad and the laptop. So, maybe I'll go to the CP, the corner pocket, to get on the Vegas call for tomorrow's 3:30 slate, and obviously with us, but then the 8 p.m. slate as well.
All right. Our thanks to Proof Brewing Company for sponsoring all that goodness. What's on tap or tap? Proof Brewing Company since 2007, offering Tallahassee's finest craft beer selections at their massive tap room from there in Railroad Square Art Park. You go over there. It's a beautiful weekend for it. Go outside and tap into some of that goodness. Of course, you could always find the canned deliciousness in the stores, so you're good to go. It's everywhere now.
Yeah, you can breathe in that fresh air. This is deck weather, my friend.
Very early this morning, and happy Veterans Day to everybody.
Yeah.
Very early this morning, my kids who have the day off came trotting in and leapt onto the bed where their mother and I were sound asleep. Nothing like that.
Must have been 5:30 then.
It was about 6. And
Okay.
I was actually sleeping in. Had the alarm set for 6:15. My eyes were kind of opening anyhow, off and on, but it was so warm. I didn't want to. It was one of those mornings, and I just kind of, it's nice out.
There's only a particular window of time, and it coincides with this weather, where the comforter is the play.
Oh,
like the actual
comforter.
comforter.
Yeah.
This is that
I was
time.
wrapped up in said comforter this morning, and I was like, oh, I could be here. Oh,
man, this
I'm
is
all right.
snuggly.
I'm not going to get out of this. And then the kids, woo, bounding and, jumping on us. And I was like, kids, come on, man. You're old enough now. Go make yourself a waffle. Get out of here.
Play some video games.
Go do something. It's your day off. Go play. Yes, go play Minecraft. Leave your dad and mom alone. But they did that. And the point of that is to say this. I got up, gathered myself, had my first cup of coffee, and said, let's go throw the football. And we did. We spent a good hour this morning very early as the sun was just coming up, throwing the football in the front yard. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you already have a great day. No matter what.
Yeah.
You could get a flat tire. You know what? You've had a great day.
My kids, okay, so you'll like this. And this is, listen, I know some of you click as soon as I start talking about kids. I got it. But, I only know how to do this show one way, which is to share of my life. And otherwise, I don't know what else we do. So I will say this.
How do your kids feel about the Clemson game?
Well, they don't think about it. They don't really worry about it.
What?
No, they don't care about it.
You failed.
They probably won't even watch it. They'll know Dad will be yelling at the TV angrily. That's what they know. They're like, here's what I feel about the Clemson game.
Dad's hate football.
Well, they actually, it's funny. Clark, yesterday, they had a big fall festival at their school, and Clark painted FSU in his head, spray painted FSU in his head, did garnet and gold. It washes out, but they would do. So they care. They know Mom and Dad were there, and they know, like, when we go over to the campus, they'll say, where was this class or where was that? I've heard Mom talk about this. And so they have an idea, but they don't have the same passion. And, well, frankly, my wife doesn't either. She doesn't care. But she doesn't. She's like, did we win? That's as much as she cares. Did we win? No. Oh, okay. That's the end of it. There's a freedom in
when
that.
You go to Publix, we need to get,
Yeah. That's literally, there is a freedom in that. Did we win is about the most I ever hear from her allegiance. No. Oh, well, was that other team any good? Like, when we lost to Boston College 35-3, she goes, so Boston College is good? I went, no, they're not. No.
That's like an unintentional troll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She literally didn't know. She goes, so Boston College is good? I go, no, they're not. She goes, oh, that's not good. I go, no, it's not.
My girl invests in it, but she knows when I'm truly invested, not just,
Yeah, when you're locked in, yeah.
When I'm locked in, and so two examples of that are with the Bucks. I'll use those because those are easier and more recent because the Noel season was over long ago. But the Carolina and the New Orleans games, respectively, she just gets quiet because she knows that I'm locked in.
Yeah.
But she's watching and interested. But she'll drop a gosh darn it bomb every once in a while, but then she'll just pat me on the back and go, sorry. And I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but I appreciate, instead of joining in and yelling at the same rate that I am.
It calms tensions in the room.
Correct.
Yeah,
Look, she's a Vikings fan, primarily.
Christy roots for the Bucks because I root for the Bucks, and she's been to a Buccaneer game. I took her to some games, so she's been into that stadium. She likes it. She roots for the Bucks, but she doesn't. She also likes Jameis, so she's always liked Jameis.
Yeah, the thing about watching games, I don't know if you're this way, but for me is when the season's on the line because it can be lost away.
You only want to be by yourself in that moment.
Well,
actually.
but that's when I'm the most intense. Like you could be 5-2 and playing a game against the Patriots, and you're in a war in the fourth quarter, and I won't be nearly as loud.
Because you can lose it, and it wouldn't be the end of the world.
Correct. But when you could lose a game, and then your season's over, and it's not yet, in that case, against Carolina, it's not yet November,
We're going to need to win this game, guys.
That's a little effing ridiculous.
Last night, her favorite of all the sports teams, the Lightning.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
She loves the Lightning.
Really?
Well, they were good too.
Right.
And so she respects and loves them. And when we get, she loves that stadium. She loves the owner, and she likes the gear. She likes the Lightning stuff. She thinks it's sharp. Everything about the Lightning is Everything about the Lightning is awesome, and she likes them. So if I have them on, like I did last night, she was going to bed and I had them on, and she goes, "Oh, they're on the West Coast." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "What's the score?" And I said, 2-0. We're kicking ass. And it was her, and she goes, "Oh, you sound surprised." I go, "I am." It was back-to-back, and we have got our backup netminder in. I said, I didn't have any expectation, and we just scored again, 3-0. All right, yeah. Now that's literally what happened. She went to bed. She goes, "All right, you're going to stay up." I go, "I am." Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, well, they got some things going on. Well, they're clearly upset about not making the playoffs last year.
They are.
They are playing hard almost every night.
Need not tuck her out. You know what I mean?
Well, you can't do that, though. You just got to.
I'm enjoying the ride.
I was going to say, they're going to go through a lull. Everybody does. They'll have a stretch where they don't play well and lose 4 of 5, and you'll get nervous. But
but save a case of these bottles of whatever we got right now.
Oh, man, we
for
got some,
April and May.
Well, we got some power play magic is what we have. You don't want none of this.
Multiple lines.
Oh, everywhere.
If you have 2 or 3 lines,
none of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, right. If your third line is out there kicking ass, that's what I'm like, okay, that's how championships get won.
Right,
We're
yeah.
doing some things here.
You got an 18, 19-year-old defenseman that's pretty damn good, too.
It's getting ridiculous. All right, so it's time for us to say goodbye. But before we do, I think we always do this, and it's not been a lot of fun to do it this year. I can only think of, and I was wrong last week. I picked Syracuse to beat us. I also took Syracuse in the points, so it worked out for me. But we did win the game. I was unfortunately kind of really concerned, just as you were, about the BC game. Those fears turned out to be true.
Yeah.
Neither of us have us winning the game tomorrow, and the expectation of it is so minimal that I don't know that I would be all that crestfallen when it happens. I hate to lose. I never want us to lose. When we do lose, it frustrates me. But, there are degrees. When you're 3-5, what's another loss? What's 3-6? But I do want to, and I really hope, and it needs to be, and I've expressed this all week long, it needs to be just because Clemson's in a better place executing with veteran players, and we've got some problems with injuries and freshmen and all that kind of thing. It can't be because there's not enough effort. So if they give the effort and they're playing hard and playing smart and playing well, and they're engaged emotionally, intellectually, and they're trying their best to win a football game that they're probably not going to win, I can live with that defeat. The alternative of not playing well and all of that, that's not something I can handle. So that's my big wish for this game, is that they come out, play hard on defense like they did against Alabama, show the emotion, stuff the run, force Clemson to get out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, force them to throw the ball down the field and convert. I mean, listen, we give up a lot of third downs, but force them to do it too.
Yeah, make them do it. Make them do it.
To me, I just want to be in a dogfight. I want to feel it through the television screen, the tension in the crowd.
Yes, I agree with that. That's what I have. That's the hope I have, is that they're nervous in the middle of the third quarter going, what is going on? I want that. I want that.
My fear is it's something closer to the Georgia-Florida game. That's my fear.
Well, it was just a culmination of what you knew to be true.
Where you can't. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter. Because the problem is, even if the defense plays as well as it's capable of doing, which is elite level, it really is, man, I just wonder if they're going to be on the field too long.
Well, they probably will.
You've got to chew the clock on offense. It's vital to this
Which
game.
means you got to convert on third down, and we don't really do that. And the other problem here is that if Clemson cares to come out. Now, see, Georgia came out with years of frustration. They came out angry about where, the programs have been and the record in that series, and they knew this was their time to shine, and they played with the investment in intensity and emotion that we talk about for a team that has a chance to kind of change things and set a new tone and path. Clemson's beaten us each of the last 2 years. I would like to think they're not going to come out as intense as Georgia did, where it's not their time to shine. They've been shining. Maybe they'll just look at this as ho-hum.
Yeah, but my worry, they've already lost, so they can't dilly-dally again.
No.
And then you also have the element of they're playing the Citadel next week and then South Carolina, so they have a week where they can get right, and you can empty the tank.
They really have multiple weeks to get right.
Well,
South Carolina
technically, yes.
If they wanted
yes,
to.
But you know what I mean? You can empty the tank tomorrow, and also...
Damn it, Tom, I had talked us into a good place.
Well, I think if Dabo has a chance to right the wrongs of 2013, he will do so.
He hasn't done that in the past. He hasn't been in a position to. In 2015, we played too well for that to happen. He had to concentrate on winning the game. In 2016, last year, we actually should have won the game, and they were reeling. So you're right. He hasn't truly had an opportunity to avenge 2013 by laying it on thick with an opportunity to run a number on there. So you're right. He might have that chance, and that's a resounding statement.
I'm just saying the motivation, I think, will be there, which is a problem. Let's just hope that defense plays just one game. The Alabama game was an example, but how about one game in the flow of the season, like we talked about? When the quarterback went down, this is what you have to be, defense. This is what you've got to be.
Crossing my fingers.
Give me one Saturday.
Crossing my fingers. Come on, baby. Make me nervous in the fourth quarter. Good looking out, Tom. Good work, Matthew. To those that called and or listened, surely do appreciate it. You guys be well. Have a wonderful weekend. Go Noles, and I'll talk to you on Monday.